When you're taking care of a narcissistic person, right? When you're treating us swell, when there's some sweet deals, like, you're feeding us, you're clothing us, right? You're uplifting us, you're paying into us, you're celebrating us, you're taking care of us. It's a sweet, loving deal. And we take you for granted. We take you for granted because we don't have any boundaries. We're like, oh, this is good. I don't think that I got to give her this back, because you all give a narcissistic person so much, so often. It's like we become very spoiled. So when we become very spoiled, there are no boundaries. When there are no boundaries, we don't expect you to say no or tell us no, or we'll say we can't have this anymore because you give. And so when the breakup happens or when the divorce happens and we move on, or we discard you or hurt you or cheat on you, we don't get those sweet deals. God is not going to put us out here in the streets and just give us a sweet deal. So what happens is narcissistic people start going through withdrawals, and it hurts and it's painful. And then we come back and we call, baby, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, I didn't know, Nah, but when you were taking care of us, we took you for granted. And so when they go out here and they find somebody else, it ain't going to happen. We don't just go find a sweet deal. That sweet deal was with you. I tell the men that talk to me, I tell the women, that sweet deal was with her or him. And when we give up that sweet deal, we're going to get a sour deal. And that's just how it goes. That's the karma. That's part of it. All right, y'all have a great day.
Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the tech spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, Drake, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like, fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side managed shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets again, rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built for the smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound, and I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show, homie. I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost, and I'm handy with the heat. I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, Eric will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and Eric will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man, shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you holler hollering and cursing. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live. Got your clap with the big 4-5, you bitch nigga. If you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out, nigga, like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, well fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger, nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the K squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps. A ski mask with the K squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
All right, everybody. Glad to have y'all in the building. We got to get right to work. Brother Leon has some things he has to do, so we got to get right to work, y'all. Thank you, Brother Eric. I appreciate the donation from Brother Eric. He said relapse. Why you play relapse, Clarence? Because any one of us could relapse. We got to be thankful. That's why we need to keep that connection with God, man, because you never know. You might need to pull up on somebody, and who is the most consistent, person that God. So we gotta we gotta keep that connection, man. But anybody could relapse. So thank you, Brother Eric, for that. And go check out Brother Eric at 16 of Life, the YouTube page, man. A lot of good stuff over there. All right, Eric, I gotta go fast. I gotta pull Brother Eric down. Okay. Next, I gotta check everybody in real quick. Let me check everybody in. We got Von Bryan is in the building. Shout out to Von Bryan. Glad to have you in the building. A strong soldier for the Lord. A strong soldier for the Lord. Just a good dude too. Anyway, by the way, Vaughn says greetings, peace, joy, grace, and abundance. Always coming in with something positive, man. Shout out to Vaughn. Who else in the building? OG Patrice is in the building. She will be up here very shortly, y'all. Hang on, don't go away. Patrice will be up here in just a second. Who else in the building? Sister Annie's in the building. Say, hey, Brother Clan. Excuse me. You got Brother Leon up there? I might come up there. Brother Clan. You got Leon in the building. All right, Sister Annie. We here for you. Who else in the building? Who else there? Sister Donna Williams. Oh, shout out to you. Glad to see you in the building, Sister Donna Williams. Glad to have you in the building. Good to see you. Who else in the building? I've got to check everybody in. Let's see. Who else in the building? Don GQ was not in the building, but he is in the building. Shout out to John GQ. By the way, glad to have you in the building, my brother. I think that's everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody else is in the bushes. But shout out to everybody, man, for joining us, man. All right, we're going to bring up OG Patrice. What's good, sis?
Hey, brother, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Are you ready to bring up our guests? You got any opening statements, or you just want to bring our guests up?
Hold on, let me get my I just hey everybody, welcome. Salute to you, brother. Salute to the chat. Welcome to Let's Talk the Better Back Life. We are still doing our Narc series, and we on part 3 with our very special guest again, our now adopted brother, Leon R. Walker Jr. We talking all things narcissists and narcissism and having narcissistic personality disorder. And I want to give the discretion, viewer discretion is advised. So if there are underage children, please have them exit your room, or have them to go somewhere safe where their little precious ears cannot hear the content that's going to be discussed today. And also I want to give a disclaimer, brother, my brother up here, Brother Clarence, and I are not medical advisors. We are not therapists, counselors, or psychotherapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, or anyone in the medical field of sorts. If this is a trigger warning for you, I would ask you to please consult your medical advisor for any treatment. And without further ado, here we go, brother. Bring
Let's
our
bring him up. Let's bring him up. What's
What's
going on?
going on,
special
y'all?
guest right on up.
All right, brother. How you doing, brother Leon?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
So far, so good, man. So far, so good. What do you think, executive producer? How you doing?
Hey, brother.
Well, I was asking you, Patrice, how you doing?
Brother Leah. I'm
Can
sorry.
you hear?
Oh, I am fine. I could, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How you doing, Brother Leon? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm good. How y'all doing?
We're doing
I'm
great, brother.
I'm good.
Bless us
I
with
think
the
I
word.
was having a little a slight delay on my part,
Yeah.
I believe. So
Okay.
please excuse me.
Okay,
We
Leon, do
are
you have
ready to jump
anything?
right into.
Okay, Patrice, I'm gonna ask Leon real quick. Do you have anything opening
Go
that
ahead,
you want to
brother.
say before we get started?
No, I'm good. I'm ready when y'all ready.
Okay. All right. I got a video, man, that I want to play, and I want to see what your opinion of it. We know you're not a psychotherapist or anything like that, but I want to get your opinion on the validity of some of the things this guy is saying, and what. I want to get your opinion on the validity of this video. All right, it's three things that's going to drive a narcissist crazy.
If you were to do these three things with a narcissist, they would lose their mind. Number one, live a life where you're happy, where you're independent, and they don't have any control over you. A narcissist's worst nightmare is loss of control.
Okay. All right. What do you think about that one, Leon?
So first of all, they're not going to lose their mind. He's wrong
Okay.
because they have. For me, I always had additional supply. I'm gonna get a little upset
Ah,
when she
okay.
moves on and she's doing better
Uh,
than I thought she would, or she's able to thrive and move on and be happy. I didn't like that because I wanted all my women to only rely on me.
okay.
And therapy, she said, you want women to rely on you, but you get upset when they do rely on you. And she was right, but I didn't realize it. I knew that I was getting upset, and I knew that I wanted them to rely on me, but I didn't know why I was that way. I wanted all the attention. I was selfish and self-centered. He's narcissistic person. I ain't gonna lose my mind if a woman moves on. I'm gonna try to make her lose my mind because I'm gonna replace her just as quick as she left. That's what I know is gonna hurt her. So that part, not 100% true.
That's not 100%.
No.
Now, what do you think it would matter in that situation? I mean,
Okay,
what kind of
so what about if it's someone now? If
Clarence, I don't think Patrice
it's
Hurt
your
could hear
mic,
you.
it's your
Oh, it's
mic.
my mic. Can you guys hear me now?
I can't.
Hold on. Let me check. Let me check it. Let
I
me
hear
check.
you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you guys
I
fine.
I was going to ask the question, Leon. What if the woman left you, and it because I heard you talk about the hovering and the stalking, and now you're stalking her. So I've heard you say like that drives you crazy, and you. So what about in that instant?
Yeah, and so in that instant, that hurts. Narcissistic men or women do not like to be left first. I put that as one of my notes. I figured you were going to ask that, but they do not like and cannot handle being left first because it's rejection. It makes them feel small, makes them feel insignificant, makes them feel like it hurts their ego. It's damaging. It makes them think that the first thing they're going to do is think that you're doing what they were doing was now that you're cheating, you found somebody else. So in their mind, in my mind, you found somebody better. And I never like that. That's a
Right.
really tough blow for a narcissistic person.
Right.
Even though
Yeah.
you've been
That was the
saying,
question. Definitely. That I go ahead.
Even though you were saying the whole time we're together, Leon, I need this, I want this, because it happened to me. I was 25 years old and I got left first, and worst thing she could have ever done was take me back, and I left her.
Oh man, can you guys hear me now?
Right. I think
Yeah.
that's definitely, yeah, we hear you okay. I think it may be just a slight delay, and I'm not sure whose end it's on. So
It was
we'll
probably
just
it was
make sure
mine. I
that
think something was
we're
on my
letting
keyboard.
each other complete the sentence before we speak. Okay, so and go ahead, Brother Clarence, with the rest of the video. The
All right,
next question.
yeah. All right, let's cause it's real short. Let's see. Wait.
So while you're waiting, when he says it'll make the narcissistic person lose their mind, he got to be careful with that, because what if I don't lose my mind when you leave, when you walk away, when you thrive, when you live in? A
That's
lot
what
of
I was going to ask you about, man. That's why I mean, is this good information? That's why I want to see from your perspective. Is it good information? Can you guys hear me now?
yeah.
Can okay. Uh, Shout out to Sister Etta Reed. Glad to have you in the building, sis. All right. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about that, man. And it seems as though his perspective is trying to make a narcissist crazy instead of trying to free yourself from that kind of energy. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think, in my opinion, it's probably better to just free yourself from that energy than to try to deal with it or just try to drive the person crazy. That to me is just giving yourself even more problems. I don't know what you guys think about that.
It's true. Yeah, giving yourself more problems, and then you spend a lot of time and energy trying to hurt the narcissistic person
There
where
you
they don't
go.
care.
That is it. All right. All right, let's go to let's finish the video.
Need you to need them. That is how they live. Number two, if you stop taking things personally, the things that come out of the narcissist's mouth, because the things that they say about you are confessions. So the moment you build this barrier between them and you, the moment you reject whatever they say about you win.
Is that true?
He said, "What the moment you what?"
The moment you build a barrier, in other words, if you say something about me, you say, "Hey, Clarence, you always got some crazy clothes on or whatever," right? Um, the moment that I stop taking that personally, you're gonna lose your mind as a narcissist, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna lose your mind, but you're gonna start saying things that's gonna be. They'll try harder to hurt you, so
That's what I thought.
he ain't
Okay.
gonna lose your mind. You try harder at hurting that person with words. You start ghosting, gaslighting more. You give them the silent treatment until the relationship is just over with. I knew when I couldn't hurt or harm the women anymore with my words, because I was verbally abusive. Yeah.
Okay. When did you know that? That's a very important point. When did you know that? Would you come to the conclusion that I can't do nothing else to this person?
When she would stop arguing, when she wouldn't cry, when she wouldn't return my phone calls, when she found out, when she had the strength to move on and walk away. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Now we
But
getting
that
some.
that but that takes quite a long time for a person to get that way, that's in love with me or in love with a
Okay.
narcissistic person. So that could be months, definitely years, definitely months, could be
Okay.
years.
Okay. So the person has to get the strength to be able to resist that.
Right.
And okay, because that's critical to what everything that you're saying. But the crux of it is the person getting the strength within themselves and not so much waiting on the narcissist to change or trying to make the narcissist change, but taking ownership of their position and doing something with that. Oh,
Right. Right. Exactly.
all right, brother. All right, one more thing, man. One more thing. We gotta go. One more thing, and then we'll be done with
Number third, take a stand for yourself and show them their place. If you display your true core strength and power that you have within in front of a narcissist and release that fear and tell them that they can't control you anymore, it is almost a narcissist's ego death.
It's not an
all right.
ego death, but yeah, he's right. You take it. We just said that though. When you stand firm on what you say and believe, and not give in, and don't falter, and don't submit, and do your thing, start living your life, Don't allow them to control you. Yeah, but it's not the ego death. It's not an ego death. When he says death and permanently destroy or kill or hurt a narcissist, it's this person. They're strong people, strong-willed people, strong-minded people. Although it may be selfish and self-centered and deals with lust and promiscuity, they're still strong-willed people. Because so the fact that I was addicted to women and porn and alcohol and smoking, I'm still gonna go find another woman that's gonna give me what I need anyway.
Okay.
So he can't.
So
My ego is
Right.
still gonna be there.
so the rejection
Right. It's
of the target is not going to somehow have you sitting in a corner crying. You're just gonna go get somebody else.
It ain't gonna happen because
not you personally, but as the narcissist.
can
Yeah.
you guys hear
Yes,
yeah,
me?
I can.
Okay.
yeah. Here's a delay on your side, Patricia.
Yeah, you got a little delay, Patrice.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think it's about supply, for the narc. And also it's about also for the person that's in their relationship with that narcissistic person to set boundaries, right? I think that if you have boundaries from the beginning, it's not like I said to you, Leon, like coming in later on trying to set boundaries. I think if you have those boundaries already and that's just a part of your moral compass, then of the narcissist will have a problem with it. But if you're setting those boundaries from the beginning and standing steadfast in those boundaries, then the narcissist is definitely going to have a problem in a relationship with just you, because you not allowing certain things, and he's going to go, and let me know if you agree with this, brother Leon, and you're going to go where you can get that from someone else. Is that not correct?
ASAP. Because what people don't talk about, narcissistic people don't like to lose. So you ever heard a woman say, "Girl, we just got divorced and he's already in another relationship"? You ever heard people say that?
Yeah, we got a sister right here in the chat saying that.
Oh yeah.
As soon as it wasn't about my marriage or anything like that, but I was always the one leaving though. But when you break up with them, the divorce is final. They may not even like the next person, but they're gonna get that next person and put them on social media just to hurt you, because they know that their friends are still following you, and your friends gonna tell you that, hey, I saw Leon with a woman, and didn't y'all just get divorced? It happens all the time. So it's not just to
Yeah.
flex with the
Or
new supply, it's to hurt the old supply.
Wow.
exactly.
Why? Now, Leon, that's what.
Or the but I was going to say, or the narcissist has always had that supply. They always had it, or you know what I mean? Because narcissist people, a lot of times they already have that supply on the side, or they're working on that supply.
Okay.
Like you said, sometimes doing the whole relationship or marriage, or either doing, from the moment they leave out of the marriage or relationship. A lot of times they already have that supply. That supply has either been on ice, or that supply never went anywhere.
There's a lot of supply that'll never go anywhere.
But
There's a lot of supplies that have been around for 20, 25 years.
Absolutely.
So I got a question for you, Leon.
And just like
go ahead.
just like it's narcs that it's women and men have been married to narcissistic, their spouse has been narcissistic, and they've taken even in their marriage, they have taken habitual cheating and lying through the whole marriage. The whole marriage. You talking 10, 15, 20 years. People have been with their narcissistic partners in marriages that continue on until one of them dies or something like that.
And you know why?
Why?
Hold on. What happens is the woman feels like she has the best part of him, or the most important part, which is the marriage. I've heard women say, "I'm not going to divorce you so that witch can have you."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But I think too that Oh, go ahead. I can't hear you, bro, Clarence.
Can you hear me now? What about you, Leon? Can you hear
I
me?
can
Bro,
hear you.
Clarence,
Yeah.
I hear you now. Okay. I was gonna say I've seen a lot of broken men and women in marriages for a long, long time, and it literally changes them and make them they become someone else in that marriage. Um, Being with a narcissistic person that is a habitual cheater and liar, it's like it sucks all the life and energy out of them. If that makes sense, Brother Leon, would you agree with that?
Yeah, what they do is that's when the breadcrumbing starts. And so when they feel like the partner that's been abused is slipping away or ready to move on, they're giving what they gave them in the beginning of the relationship to reel them back in. And then they'll take the bait again and again and again and again. And a lot of times women are and men too are afraid to move on because they deeply love that person. They don't want to start over. They don't love anybody else. They're like, "Oh, I
Right.
love Leon, I can't imagine myself with nobody else." So they settle and they lose
Yeah, and
themselves.
it's
And there's no more
yeah,
motivation in the
years.
relationship, but they're happy to be married. They'll still cook for them. They'll still clean their clothes, fold their clothes. They'll still get their cars cleaned. They'll still pay their bills because that's their love. It's not the person that's abusing them. It's what they're able to do for that person.
And also like you said in the interview earlier that we did with you, that they have invested so much into the person and the marriage and the relationship, and man, don't have children, and they just see themselves as being stuck in and just saying, I done put so much into it, I can't let it go like this and just give it to somebody else or allow somebody else to have it, not seeing that they are totally engulfing in self-loathing and losing themselves in that person, unfortunately. And I and
And
I definitely have seen it.
yeah, and also 9 times out of 10, if the woman is like that, her mother was the same way.
Yeah.
And then her
It
mother will instruct her, I don't care what he does, baby. Don't leave that man. These are women from down south mostly, though, sadly.
Yes. Stay with him, girl. He providing. He a good father. He providing. He paying the bills. And they stay and they take verbal abuse, sometimes physical abuse, and habitual lying and cheating through the whole marriage. And I've watched it. It's almost like have sucked the life out of some women. They become depressed. They become very introverted, very secluded, especially if the narcissistic man is or woman is controlling, right? If they're controlling, you see this a lot in marriages and relationships if they are controlling. So I know now that looking back in retrospect, I've seen many women, even in my own family, that way coming up as a young girl, be in abusive relationships with a narcissistic man or vice versa. Because I remember specifically having an uncle, one of my mother's brothers was in a very tumultuous, toxic, dysfunctional marriage with a woman that he married. And when I tell you, she was the abuser. She was the abuser.
Wow.
And man, they had a son together. And I mean, he took so much for so long. And I just remember seeing them always fighting, always verbal abuse. There was always verbal abuse on her part and physical abuse on her part. And literally, she would force his hand every time to defend himself. And it's unfortunate to see that a man have to, be that way with a woman, but she was actually the narcissist in the relationship. And
I've
of
seen
course,
that.
and of course, there's always some form of abuse, and alcohol or drugs or something. It's always some form of abuse, addiction that goes along with that abuse. There was that addiction.
Hold on, Patrice. Patrice, can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
I hear
Can
you.
hear
We
me?
hear
A
you
lot
now.
better. Better.
Loud and
Okay.
clear.
Yeah, I
Yep.
switched over to another computer. Okay. All right, just checking in. All right, y'all.
Did we get all 3 questions?
Yeah, we did all 3 questions, and Leon didn't agree with I think 2 of them. He only gave one of them, his stamp. But I was wanting to ask Leon about something where, now this is what I don't understand, because I don't understand the concept of I'm going to hurt a person that I'm not even with. I mean, I don't even understand trying to hurt somebody you with, but now I'm going to go and spend extra time and energy to try to hurt them by putting up my new boo on Facebook and saying this, I love her better than I loved anybody, right? And you put this person out there like that, right? It reminds me of in Goodfellas when they were talking about the wives, that when the FBI came in the house, they would spit on the floor, right? And Henry's wife was like, "This is your floor. Why are you spitting on your own floor?" Right? That's crazy, right? So, can you explain why would somebody do, or what is the mindset of a narcissistic person that would say, you know what, I'm not even with this person no more. She moved on, I moved on, but I'm still going to try to hurt them.
Because narcissistic people don't ever move on.
Okay.
They go get another supply, get somebody else, but they don't want to see you get anybody else, hoping that you don't find somebody better than them. As you notice, a lot of
go ahead, Brother Leon. Go ahead.
As you notice, a lot of times they'll say, "You'll never find another me," which they shouldn't want to find another me. Nobody will treat you like I did, which they should want nobody to treat you like I did.
Exactly.
And then when you find somebody else, in our mind, this is what happens. In my mind, I'm the best thing that ever happened to her, so I don't think she'll want anybody else. The moment she wants somebody else or gets somebody else, they always say, "Well, you were with him anyway. You were cheating." So they project their cheating mindset onto you to make them feel like the relationship was messed up because you cheated and not me.
And not to mention also, don't forget, Brother Clarence, that narcissists lack empathy.
Right.
Yeah.
They lack empathy, and it's unbelievable that they lack empathy even for their spouses. They don't care about the fact, and they don't think or care about the fact of what them cheating how it's going to affect their spouse.
Right. Not at all.
They not thinking, and they don't care because they lack the empathy, right?
Right. Don't care. I understood empathy though, because I had to understand it to know how she was feeling. So that's why it was easy for me to hurt women, because as a child I got hurt and I was like, "Oh, I don't like this. This don't feel good." So
Right.
I suppressed it so much that when the empathy came up, I was like, nah, I ain't crying. I don't feel bad for you. It happened to me. So what? Big deal. Get over it. That was one of my favorite sayings, get over it. You'll be all right. It's okay. Suck it up. I've never, after probably 11 years old, I never wanted to or never connected to any type of emotions to, whereas people were crying or at funerals or, "Why did you do me this way, Leon?" I don't want to hear it. I did it. Get over it. Shut up.
Right.
I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, which is a form of gaslighting. And I got a list here of maybe about 10 infamous gaslighting terms that when your narcissistic partner has been caught lying or cheating in something and they try to flip it back on you. And please know that gaslighting is absolutely it's psychological abuse is what it is. It really is. It's psychological abuse. It's playing with your mind, playing with your reality and having you question your own reality. So if you with a narcissistic person, if they've ever said some or all of these things to you, more than likely you probably in a relationship or a marriage with a narcissistic person. Every time when you try to hold the narcissistic person accountable, and Brother Leon, I'm going to read off these 10 things, and you can just kind of touch on them a little bit and tell me if you've ever said any of these things to any women.
Probably, but go ahead.
Stop being so insecure.
Yeah, often.
Okay. You're paranoid.
Yep. You don't see what you see. You don't hear what you hear. You make yourself up.
Okay. You too emotional. Why you so emotional?
Yep, because I'm not emotional, and her emotions irritate me. So that way, when I tell her that, she'll stop crying. She'll stop wanting to love and wanting to be romantic and all of that. Yeah. So I mean,
Time out.
I starve women.
Okay.
Time out, y'all. Time out, y'all. Because
Uh-huh.
I got a question about that, Leon. Okay. What exactly does a narcissist want? I mean, if a person does you right, you don't like that. If a person does you wrong, you don't like that. What are you looking for? What's the point? What's the end game?
Be what I want you to be where I want you to be how I want you to be, and don't ask no questions. Just be, which is a quite boring life for her because I starved a lot of women. A lot of women didn't grow because of me. There was no after the first month or two, depending on when I lost interest, um, there was no intimacy. It was sex. There was after a while, I didn't feel like I had to impress you, so we weren't going. I had women say, "Leon, you're not the person I met months ago." I'm thinking like, I knew that was gonna happen. Too bad. Get over it. Now you're stuck with me, right? Until
Right.
I'm ready to go. I
Now
knew
you
what I
stuck
was
with me.
doing.
Wow.
I knew what I was doing. Yeah, I knew what I was doing.
All right. This is the fourth one. Stop taking everything so seriously.
Yeah, because I wasn't serious, and I'm not going to be serious. And narcissistic people, one thing about narcissistic people, I know for me, I was not a serious dude. My ex-wife used to always say, you live for the moment. You don't take things seriously. You procrastinate a lot. I'm like, yep. But I was very successful in the military. Narcissistic people, at least the type that I am, and been around, are highly functioning people.
Yeah.
And
And grandiose.
grandiose,
Grandiose.
yeah. And if you can be successful at a moment's notice, I'm not going to take too long to plan anything. So it drove my wife crazy. And then I would pop up and have something going on. She'd be like, "You got 9 lives. I don't know how you're always getting awarded and rewarded." She asked me that before, and I was like, "Shh, I'm your husband," but I wasn't a good husband. So she had every right to not celebrate me at all.
Number 5 is definitely a doozy. I'm not the problem. You are.
Yeah, I am not the problem. You don't hear me complaining. You always complaining. You still here? You're not leaving. Yeah, we just had sex, so how could something be wrong with me? You the
That
problem
that
if you
that,
want to speak with
that
me.
that's a major deflection too, right? Where they trying to
Major.
deflect and put that reverse psychology back
Oh
on you
yeah.
now. I'm holding you, Leon, accountable for something you did to me, but you telling me that I'm the problem when I
Yeah.
address you.
Because the reason why I'm acting this way is because of you.
Exactly. All right, number 6. That wasn't my intention.
Didn't mean to do that. I was just playing. I was just joking. Everything is serious. I did mean to do what I did. I meant what I said.
You intended to do it because you did it. So you
Yeah.
obviously intended to do it, right?
Right. And then when you say this is what gets me, well, this is a dead giveaway for you all. This is what you should never say. Leon, that hurt my feelings. I was just playing. Now I know what hurts your feelings, and I'm going to do it again, but it's going to be something different.
Exactly. Number 7. You crazy. You the one need help. I don't need help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you crazy to know that I have a problem, but you stand with me. I'm not crazy because I'm going to leave you, and I told you I'm going to leave you. So why would I say with somebody crazy? I'm the smart one. I'm leaving. You're crazy because you stand with me, and you know that I have
Staying with you.
issues.
Yeah, exactly. Again, reverse
All the
psychology.
time. Yeah.
Okay. And number 8. That ain't the way it went. You remembering that wrong. That didn't happen that way.
Mm-hmm. And then what happens is if you go, really? Or maybe you know what? You probably don't start doubting yourself, because as soon as you start doubting yourself, I'm going all in, and the argument is over, and you will lose every time.
And don't be a person that truly is kind of forgetful a little bit, short-term
memory for you.
They gonna use that till the cows come home.
Yeah, it's over for you. Right.
You remember that time when you left your coat in the car and we was looking all over and it was right in the car. See, that's you. See, you having a memory problem. You need to check.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 9. Everybody else agrees with me. See, I can't be wrong.
Yeah, even your family agree with me, even your sister. So I knew if I know that there's people that don't like you and they're around, I'll let you know that they agree with me and they don't like you. So that's when you start gain in popularity amongst the family members and the flying monkeys, especially
The
people.
flying monkeys.
Yeah, especially people that don't like her in her own family.
That
Wow.
part.
Yeah.
And or they don't know that they're only getting your side of the narrative, which you laying it on thick. So they thinking that I'm the bad person,
Right.
but you're not, you're telling them lies, or you're not telling them the whole truth, or you're
Right.
spinning the narrative to make it look like it's my fault, or I'm the crazy one that's harassing you, or always nagging you about something, or something to that effect. So first thing that narcissistic person will say to their significant other is, everybody else agrees with me, like I got everybody on my bandwagon, so you the one that's wrong, or you the one that's at fault.
Right. Exactly.
And number 10. Now this is the doozy. When you mention the word gaslight to them, they'll tell you that gaslighting ain't real. That's false. That's a made up thing. That don't exist. That's for real. Have you ever did that one?
Yeah. I had to always make her think that what she thought was real wasn't real, although I knew that it was real.
Yeah.
And then I would talk about how and why it's not real. And then she go, because I'm giving her a different perspective about something she thinks she knows. Now, when I give my perspective, she knows more about what she thought she knew, and now she started to believe me.
Yeah, yeah, and again, that's a deflection. That's a psychological mind game tactic that they play, reverse psychology, where literally gaslighting is a real thing. It's a real word and it's a real thing. But a narcissistic person will tell you that it's not, that it's not real, that gaslighting ain't a word, or whatever the case may be. Right?
Yep.
So now, next thing I want to talk about, I was looking at a short documentary where they have these forms of like marriage boot camps. They have these things called infidelity boot camps and resort retreats, right? And you have these couples that are married, and they have had, one of them has committed infidelity in the marriage, and they are spending thousands of dollars. This is a new thing, you guys, but it's like becoming really, really popular. And you can go on a weekend retreat or a week, retreat to a infidelity boot camp type of thing, where you work on your marriage, you confess you're cheating and things of that nature. But what is being founded in these retreats that people are spending anywhere from $5,000 to tens of thousands of dollars on is that they are not getting the therapy from a therapist or licensed psychotherapist or psychiatrist or psychologist, and they're not addressing the possibility of their partner being narcissistic, especially if that partner has been a habitual cheater. What is your take on that, Brother Leon?
I don't think they're covering the root cause of the problems. As you know, they'll go into these boot camps, they'll start to argue, and they'll talk about, well, Leon cheated, girl, and he did this, he did that, when the woman didn't do anything, probably in this case. Well, I mean, some cases do, but a lot of cases, but men. But anyway, they don't get to the root cause of the problem. Why is Leon a cheater? Why does Leon feel insecure? Why does Leon need his ego stroke? Why does Leon want to be in control and dominant? Well, we found out that Leon's narcissistic. It was not just that he's cheating. Leon has an addiction to different women. Leon is comfortable with his wife, knowing she's not going to go anywhere. You cheat the first time, second time, third time, you still there, right? Leon wants something different. Leon cheats with these women because they are easy to control and dominate. He can do what he said, do what he wants to do with these women. He can say what he wants to say. They don't require much. You don't have to put in any type of work, because women that cheated with me knew that I was had a girlfriend or had a wife. They knew. It wasn't no secret. So they knew that it's only going to go so far. And if you start acting up after a while, I'm going to stop seeing it. Okay. So they cheat with women that are much lesser than their wife.
Absolutely. And I've been very surprised to know that a lot of times the wife or the woman knows the live-in girlfriend, the side chick, you know, they know, and they endure. Women especially stay and endure so much. But the thing about these infidelity boot camp slash resorts is that you're spending thousands of dollars to really get to the bottom of what is the cause of the infidelity and why the person has been cheating in your marriage, right? And you're spending this money for that very reason. But then you have therapists and counselors and people on board that's not, like you're saying, addressing possibly the nucleus of the problem, right? The dead core center of the problem, because we talked about this earlier. It's a difference in a narcissist that cheats as opposed to a non-narcissist that cheat, because there is two factors to that. But if you have a narcissist that's habitually cheating, I don't think that you know, with the lack of empathy and with the continuous cheating and not getting to the root of the problem, that narcissist is going to continue to cheat, right?
You know
But you
what?
can have a go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Also, narcissistic people don't care about marriage. And I didn't care about marriage. You know why I married her? Because I didn't want anybody else to have her. I didn't marry her to get married.
Yeah, selfish reason, very selfish reason. Not because again, narcissistic people are very selfish, self-centered, self-absorbed people.
But we don't talk about that.
Everything is about what's in it for them, whether it's the marriage, whether it's the sex, whatever it is that they're getting from the supply. And it's unfortunate that a lot of times the supply is their wife, their partner, but a supply is also going to be of the women, right? So as opposed to the non-narcissist who maybe cheated once, truly remorseful, he knows and sees the pain in his spouse that he has caused. He takes accountability for it. He apologizes. His behavior change, right?
Right.
And he never does it. He or she never does it again.
I couldn't be that dude. That was not me. That
Exactly.
I would look at him like he had a problem, but I was the one that had the problem. But
Exactly.
I will tell you this. Narcissistically speaking, from my personality disorder mindset, being with you, say for instance, Patrice, you and I are married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your compliments, your cooking, you stroke my ego, doesn't touch me anymore. I need all of that from a whole different woman.
Exactly, because it always is about the new supply. Whether she's, like you said, she don't have to be all of that. She could be younger, she could be older, she could be slimmer, she could be heavier, she could be lighter, she could be darker, she could be taller, she could be shorter. It's not even about it's about the supply, because narcissistic people get bored very, very fast. And they are very impulsive people. So go ahead.
Okay, well, Patrice, I wanted to hear. I mean, you gave made a lot of good points, but I wanted to hear Leon's particular answer to that question, because
sure.
Yeah, I want to hear what Leon had to say about
Which
that.
one? Which question?
Well, the last thing she was addressing about why why a new person always has to be around, right? Like you said, you're with this person and you know it's gonna go bad because you know you're gonna make it go bad. Not you personally, but the narcissist knows they're gonna.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Okay. So it always has to be a new person. My question is, why does it always have to be a new person? Why isn't the narcissist, what is it that makes the narcissist not want to try to deal with the person currently there and try to work with that person? What makes them say, I gotta have another, so I gotta have more, I gotta have more, I gotta have more?
Yeah, look who I got now. We talk about the grandiose mindset, right? Look at what I've done. Look at who I got. Look who I'm dating. You know, even if I'm in a marriage or whatever, my friends like, man, you got this woman, that woman, this woman, that woman. It's greed and lust plays a major part in that. Because I get with the woman that wants to be married and we have children, or say we don't have children. She loves me. She ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
And then I start cheating, and the infidelity just keeps going. She really ain't going nowhere. Because like you said, I think Patricia said a while ago, woman's not going to give up what she built into this man. What she gave up, also, what she got, she's not going to just give it up and walk away. She'll hold on. I caught you once, Leon. It's like catch me 1,000 times. It's just a different woman. Why do you keep doing this, Leon, baby? I don't know. I'm sorry. Come home, buy her a gift. We have sex, whatever. It ain't going to stop because I had to have something different. I have you. You're not going anywhere. And I get hurt. There's a good chance that she's not going anywhere. She'll call you. You all might argue with each other about me. And then neither one of you want to leave. Now y'all know each other. It's going to be worse for both of y'all because I'm not going to stop. You know I got a wife. You know I cheated on you. And y'all both still here. I don't want that mindset anymore. I don't.
And
it was easy to do it.
I'm glad you're saying that, brother, because that's what they call the triangulation, right? Like, talk about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's a manipulation tactic to keep well, so I did a video about triangulation, but I did it in the sense of the theory behind it. How it's like easy to do, and not saying that the women are easy, but there are 3 age limits, age categories. If I'm a 35-year-old narcissistic man, I'll date women down at least 25 to 35, play around with them. Most times those women, I'm going to pick women that got a kid or 2, need some help, don't require much, low self-esteem, no confidence, not going to question me. If I come in 3 o'clock, I'm bringing a bucket of chicken, some Pampers, some Newports, and maybe some weed. She cool, right? The 35 to 45-year-old is, yeah, seriously. I know it sounds funny, but it's true. The 35 to 45-year-old is in her profession, right? She's doing either in residency or internship, about to get paid, had the high GPAs, the best counselors, the best schools, parenting. They kept her sheltered. My ex-wife was one of those women. Street cred score is very low. So it's easy for me to run circles around, and everybody wanted her. Then I got her. But I didn't let go of all the other women I had, which were much less than my ex-wife. And so 35 to 45, they're professionals. They're very mature. They have a network. They have a net worth. I never wanted a woman's money, but I wanted her sex and favors. So that woman's going to be hard to hurt, but she's going to get hurt because I'm greedy and I'm narcissistic. So, and I'm very lustful. So I keep her because she's a professional. She makes me look good. Right. And then you got the third group. You got the third group, 45 to 60, that don't give a damn about me anymore. I played the games with her. She played the games with me. I let her control me. She can call me over there and I come over and let's have sex. I cook you a meal and just get the hell out when you're done. Okay, bet. I can do that. I don't care about you. You don't care about me. We got history. We done hurt each other. We done cheat on each other. It is what it is. Let's just have fun. We have chemistry. Because she don't want to go with, she know I'm with this younger chick and she know I got a middle-aged chick, but she don't care. She done been through it already. She's tired. She just want to have sex. She's ovulating after her period, whatever. She's horny. So I come over, on my way over there, I bring her, maybe a rib dinner or whatever, or a bag of shrimp, whatever, some cigarettes. And I break her off and give her about $60, $100, and I'm out. We cool with that. We have an understanding. It's a situation shit. So she's not going to say anything because she likes the favors. She likes the money. And the younger girl's not going to say anything because she likes the same thing. The one in the middle, the 35 to 45-year-old, is the one that's going to get triangulated. That's more like a square. It's me and 3 other women. But the triangulation, to answer your question, is the manipulation part to keep one wanting to stay in a relationship, wondering about this woman, giving herself up, don't have any self-esteem, don't have any confidence, hurting because I know, Leon, you got the other woman, but it's just to make her try to do more for me or the same amount that this other woman is doing. But it's a manipulation tactic.
I have a question.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, so you talked about the lust and the greed. Now, my question is, in the narcissistic mentality, the framework of the mentality, what is driving? Because something has to drive this lust and this greed. So what is driving it? What is it?
For me,
trauma.
Yeah, trauma is driving it, right?
Yeah.
So is it the trauma and you're trying to get away from the trauma, or is it that the trauma is stuck there and this is what this behavior some kind of way makes you distracts you from it, or
no? So right, yeah. So the behavior can distract you from it, but also I knew who I once was. I peed in the bed. I used to suck my thumb. I was abused. I was bullied. I used to get beat up. I used to cry. I'm not going back to that dude. So hence, I became this person that needed attention and got it. I started getting taller, had muscles, I had hair. Women started liking me. I had to figure out, well, what do I do? I didn't even know what to do with girls. I was afraid of girls. Then I started learning what to do with girls and how to get girls, and I could keep girls, and I can make them cry, and I can make them fall in love with me. That was a big deal for me. And so I became this person that wasn't who I should have been, but it was who I was comfortable with, instead of being a kid that cried and got bullied and sucked his thumb and peed in the bed. That was stinky, didn't take baths. So I became this guy. So I like this guy. This guy's popular. People want to be around me. Girls want me. You think I'm gonna give this guy up? You think I'm going back to being that dude? No. So the driving factor is who I don't want to be anymore. I could have been a successful congressman, a mayor, a doctor, a lawyer, but I became a whoremonger. I became promiscuous. And so the driving factor for me was more women, more attention.
Yeah, womanizer.
Right? Womanizer. Yeah. I had a reputation to uphold. And so
yeah, and you didn't care that you were a womanizer, whether it was on the streets, because I'm pretty sure you have even had an answer this because I think that to a certain extent, some women are drawn to womanizing men. Have you ever had an experience with a woman? So yeah, I heard, Leon, I heard you a womanizer. I heard you a big old, the HOE. But they still find themselves with you. Has that? I'm sure that has happened.
It happens now. At 58 years old, narcissistically leading my life, having this personality disorder, it still happens now. My personality disorder doesn't scare all women. They want to know,
right.
But so I became this guy, and guess what? It worked.
Okay,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's something about with women that they feel like it's a challenge for them. Like they think that they're gonna be different. They're not gonna be like those other women. That they're gonna be that woman that can tame you or can change you. Or now he was like that with them, but see, I'm too fine. I'm too this.
And when she says that, or she feels that way,
I got too much going for myself. I got these degrees. I got this job. Me, I'm different. I'm different.
And when she starts saying that, and if she feels that way, she'll be the main one to get hurt.
Right, because you're gonna see her. You're gonna see that person coming 100 miles away, right, Leon? You're gonna see her already, and you're gonna. I would think that a narcissist would say, "Okay, I'm gonna let her think that that's gonna happen," and then, I'm gonna drop the hammer on her, right?
Yeah, and what happens is, I wouldn't want to do this again, but what happens is, they'll say me. I'll start making her feel like what she has accomplished in life is not important. Downplay it. If she comes with all of this, I got this, I got that, blah, blah, blah. I tell women that all the time. I'm like, stop saying those things, because you're going to meet a man that's going to make you feel unimportant. The key thing in that, it's not a key thing. The thing about that is that she'll go, well, I got my PhD, I got a BMW, I got this, I got that. The key thing about that is that she hasn't met somebody that's going to make her feel bad about what she's accomplished. And so as soon as I would make her feel bad about what she accomplished, now guess what? She doesn't know how to deal with it. I talked to a lady the other day about that. And a guy just put her down, talked about her. And I'm like, he did that to hurt you. And it's hard trying to get her to unthink that, because he said some hurtful things. Whether it was true or not, I don't know, but she's very successful. I said, you paying attention to the negative stuff and not the positive things that you've accomplished.
Okay, so this is another critical question I want to ask. Okay, so we talked about the lust and the greed, right? And usually it's the trauma behind it that's actually laying the foundation for that, right? My thing is, can a narcissist change if the drive for the lust and the greed is removed, and how could that possibly happen?
Yeah. So there's Dr. Ramani has a video out there called 10 things that narcissistic people can do to change their behavior. And it's stuff I do now, everyday stuff, you know. Thinking before you react, not getting angry. It doesn't have to be about you. I don't have to be right all the time. It's okay to be wrong. So yeah, if you remove that driving factor, or if you remove the reasoning why they want to be this person, what's the motivation, what's the driving force behind it? If you remove the fact that they want to be this person for whatever reason, then you could change. The reason why it's hard for narcissistic people to change is because it feels good being Leon. Especially if I'm still in the military, I'm being awarded, rewarded, women are still flocking after me. Why would I want to change that? I don't have any morals, so I don't give a darn about being disrespectful or get caught cheating. I don't have any morals, so that don't bother me. I'm talking about prior to therapy. So that's why it's hard to change. I got you, Clarence. I don't hear you now.
Oh, there we go. All right. So why it's just because you dropping some jewels, man. So this is the thing. Why does it feel good to hurt other people? This is a good question. I want us to try to we those of us that have not been narcissists, but we tried to be. We probably run across one or two. Why does it make them feel good to hurt other people? That's a good question, I think.
Well, in hurting another person, it's all about conquering and being successful.
Agreed.
I don't look at it as if I'm hurting you. I'm looking at it as if I'm defeating you and teaching you a lesson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't process the hurt. That's why you all may process, man, that was cold. How you hurt? No, she shouldn't have. The MF shouldn't have said block. That's what the hell they get. I said that a lot.
Now she know better, right? Now she know better.
That she won't do that no more.
I'm getting it.
I bet she won't say that to me no more. I bet she won't challenge me no more. I bet she won't do that no more. It's about a control mechanism. It's about a demand and a conquer in the narcissistic head. In my humble opinion, I think in order to keep that person contained how they want them to be.
Trained and trained too.
And it gets to a point where that person in that narcissistic relationship will definitely like avoid confrontation with that person, because they, especially if you're overt or something, like you say you are, Leon, you blows up, like you don't want the confrontation because you already know, like, oh Lord, if I say something to him, he just gonna blow his top, or it's gonna be a whole big old thing. So they literally will numb themselves down and dumb themselves down to avoid confrontation. They become very introverted. I have recognized that in people that I know, when I've said, like, to a girlfriend, why do you let him do that to you? Why do you let him treat you that way? Why don't you speak up for yourself? And they, well, you know, I don't want no confrontation. Girl, he blows up. I can't take it. And I was like, wow. But literally he's cheating on you and disrespecting you and verbally abusing you, and you know, the whole, even physical abuse sometimes. And you hear the woman, she's become so accustomed to it that she's literally altered and changed herself to fit the narrative of what he wants her to be. She's literally trained. I listen, girl, I don't want no problems. I don't want no trouble, girl. That man, he's crazy. He gets so angry, and I don't want to make him angry. I have heard these stories where women say that, you know, in marriages and in relationships, they literally avoid the confrontation and the conflict in their marriage and relationship.
Yeah.
And it could be something as simple as, like you said, it could be something as simple as Well, I called you at 6 o'clock. You knew that I was waiting on you to come and take me to my appointment, and you didn't answer your phone. It could be
Yeah,
something so simple as that. And
that's right.
it's blowed all the way out of proportion.
All the
So
way.
yeah. But Leon, I know you have to I know you have to leave
I'll
us.
take a couple of more. He's not.
Okay.
I'll take a
Okay. Well,
couple more.
I definitely want especially women, especially because you are a man that suffers with narcissistic personality disorder. And what are some of the questions? I think is so valid, and women need to know this. What are some of the questions that when a woman is dating that she should ask the guy? We talked about it before, but I want to reiterate on it more because I think it's so important. We cannot be like mind readers or detectors of all red flags, but there are some things out here that I think that women definitely can, be aware of, be more sharper on, and be more on the lookout for if they're in the dating pool. What are some of the profound questions that you think women should ask men?
The relationship with his mother. They don't ask that. They never ask me that. You can ask about his dad. Yeah. What's your relationship with your mother? Oh, well, no, I don't talk to my mother. When a man doesn't talk to his mother like I didn't, I wanted to, I didn't understand a woman. I didn't have my mother. Off and on, sparingly. So if he doesn't know his mom, how's he going to feel about you telling him what to do or advising him if his mother didn't do it? I had a huge problem with that. A huge problem. My mother could
Now
tell
let
me.
me ask you this: whether the mother is alive or dead. So if the man just
Don't
cuts her
matter.
off, if the man cuts her off pretty much and say, "Well, my mother's dead," should she elaborate more? Well, when she was alive, what type of relationship did you all
Yeah,
have?
she has to because she wants to know. She didn't ask you if your mother was dead or not. Okay, thank you for telling me. But again, what was the relationship that you had with your mother? Right? So I wanted my mother to sit down and talk to me like she used to do when I was a little boy. I didn't have that after 11 years old. Right? And so I'm like, how are you going to talk to me like that? My mother don't even talk to me like that. So you can't. How are you going to question me? My mother can't question me. So you can't. Right? Ask them about if they're in therapy. I never told women I was in therapy until 2 years ago. Nobody knew. Nobody knew that I was in therapy.
That is a great question.
And then,
I
okay,
think.
Leon, because in therapy,
Mhm.
therapy was rough. I walked out of therapy twice. I told you that. One lady wasn't cute. The other one was cute with big breasts. I was sitting there staring at her breasts. Yeah. So,
Leon,
what did you learn in therapy, Leon? Forgiveness, right? Avoidance issues, attachment.
Leon is the brother that has done Confessions of a Narcissist, right?
Man, I
hey,
tell you.
one thing
He
y'all
got a
can't
whole
say about this
album of
brother.
Confessions of a
This
Narcissist.
brother keeps it 100%. You
Yes, he
cannot
do.
say this brother shaves anything off, man. He keeps 100%.
Yeah, and so I used to go in there smelling like cigarettes and chicken. I don't smoke no more, but I was very rude going into therapy because I didn't want. That's why people say that they'll narcissistic people never go. I had to go in the military. When you got to check in, you got to check in.
Right.
So these people out here in civilian world don't go. It's like I ain't going. I was held accountable. But back to what I was saying, asking questions about therapy.
Yeah.
Did you stay? Did you walk out? What did you learn, Leon? These basic questions that people asking nowadays, where people wind up getting hurt and lost in a relationship because they don't ask. So what happens is you start asking these hard questions, you're gonna see the man or the woman sit there and get nervous or walk away or leave the date.
Right.
Yes.
And that'll tell you a lot.
Or even if they get a little upset or offended that you even asking him. I think there is certain as you going down, each time you're dating, I think it's certain questions that becomes more and more potent. But I think some of the first 2-3 dates, that you're dating, some of those questions need to be asked because maybe, I don't know, what do you think about a first date? Because sometimes you can get on a first date and it's basically you asking basically questions about the person, and it's about putting on that impression. All right, like we know everybody want to be on their best behavior for that first date, but if there's no chemistry, and you already got it kind of in the back of your head that I ain't feeling this person or whatever, do you think it's important to ask those questions if you know there's not going to be a second date, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's important because women will give a guy that they didn't even feel in the first place a whole nother chance.
Okay.
And guess what? When they do
Good
that,
point.
after they hurt his feelings on date 1 or 2, they give him a chance, and then he's gonna remember what you said to him the first day. He don't like it, he was embarrassed, whatever. He feels insecure now. You want to come back and have another date. Now you trying to like him. He's gonna get you to like him, and then he's gonna crush your spirit.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for answering that.
Yeah.
What about should you ask about addictions?
So
Do they have any addictions?
yeah, so psychologists, I read somewhere, the psychologist said you shouldn't ask people about their past. I don't know who the hell came up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
should ask.
disagree too.
Yeah,
So
you
good.
should ask, because those addictions are going to hurt you, right? Say, for instance, you meet a guy that's addicted to alcohol, and he got 3 DUIs and no license.
Yeah.
You driving everywhere
Like
y'all go.
my narc, I did not.
That's a
My
good point.
my narc, I did not know he was a recovering alcoholic until about a month and a half into us dating. So I agree with that 100%. And even with me noticing that when we did go out, he wouldn't drink. I just wouldn't even ask the question.
Right.
I'd order my drink, my little wine or whatever, but I noticed he would never order any type of alcohol. And in my head, I know everybody are not drinkers. Like I said, my son is not a drinker. He just naturally not a drinker. He don't have a problem with alcohol. So in my head, it was like, oh, he don't drink. But I kept noticing it, and then it was like, that's when he told me. It was like a month and a half, 2 months into the dating.
Also, if you got somebody that's addicted to porn,
I
like
agree.
I was addicted to adult porn. But what if you get with somebody that's addicted to porn and it's kiddie porn?
But you know what?
Exactly.
I got a question, Leon. I got a question, because sister in the chat.
But they may lie, though, Leon. They may lie.
That's what I'm getting at.
They may lie about that, especially in the beginning.
Patrice, let me ask this question, because I was getting there. Okay, so yeah, there's a sister in the chat said the same thing, that they could lie about a lot of stuff, right? When you first asking them about it. So a person that's, this is my opinion, a person that's holding on to a kiddie prawn, I can't say porn, we say prawn, a kiddie prawn addiction is probably going to be concealing it from everybody, right? So if they start dating someone, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to try to conceal it from that person, right? Even if they ask them. So there got to be other questions you could ask to try to circumvent that, to see if what they're kind of into sexually, maybe, or is there any other ways around the lying? I guess that's the real question I'm asking. Is there, like, if they lie about everything, which a lot of people do, is there any way dealing with a narcissist to get around them lying?
So what happens is that addictions are strong and powerful, right?
Correct.
And what happens is, when we get into an argument months down the line, when narcissistic people are triggered, they go to their addictions.
Correct.
So if my addiction is smoking cigarettes and I'm pissed off, what do you think I'm gonna do when I get mad and lose an argument? You can't hide those addictions. They're gonna come out sooner or later.
I was gonna say, I went out on one date with this guy, and I noticed that he could not take his eyes off his phone. Literally, doing this date. He talking, picking up, and I'm thinking, so I asked him, I says, are you on call with your job or something, and you have to keep looking at your phone or something? And he was like, no. And I says, well, why do you keep looking at your phone? And when he turned it up and picked and pull it up, it was porn on there.
You can't hide your addictions.
And I said to him, I says, whoa. I says, are you do you have an addiction with this? He admitted it to me.
He had to.
He admitted it to me. I says, well, you know what? I says, I'm sorry, but I can't compete with that because that's real. Women, please know, porn addiction. I don't care what kind of woman you are, what kind of tricks up your sleeve you got sexually with a man, you cannot compete with the porn addiction. And I told him, thank you very much. This has been nice, but deuces. And I left. And it's so.
You left him at the restaurant?
left. Hey, I was like, I left him at the restaurant, right? And then, and what makes it so bad is, after I got home, the next day he kept reaching out to me.
Yeah, because he felt bad about you catching him.
But and still wanting to date me though.
Yeah,
like,
because you rejected him. You rejected him because of his addiction, and that was like spanking a child when you catch him with the hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah. It was just unbelievable. So I definitely think that asking about addictions. What do you think about
wait, Patrice, can I ask one other question real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so this is the thing, Leon. We're trying to find out how to notice this narcissistic type of thing, because I agree with you. I think most people, when they go out on dates, even narcissists, they're going to put their best foot forward at first, right? So you're not going to find out about the porn addiction. You're not going to find out about the alcohol addiction. You're not going to find out about their prison stays and all. You're not going to find out about a lot of that stuff on the first, second, maybe even the third date until you, because I think the first date would probably be just to see if you have a visual attraction, and then to see if you have some type of chemistry, right? That's what you're trying to figure out what's going on with that one. The second date, you're trying to see if it was just a fluke or if it's a real, you know what I mean? And then by the third date, now you say, okay, I think there's something here. We can start digging deeper. And so, but I think even at the third date, if you ask about the addictions, are you probably not going to see them at that point. Now, I don't know. I haven't been in a dating market I'm talking about many, many years, right? So the man who was out there, what do you think? Is there something that, I know you can't hide them forever, right? But some people are good, man. They can hide them for years, like you said at first. So, you know what I mean? How can we get around and try to see, like, if they have some of this stuff? Like, you made a good point about the nervousness, right? When you start asking about stuff and they get all nervous and their energy changes, right? That to me is a tell, right? But your opinion, because you're the more experienced than all the rest of us in this situation, how can we ask, or how can we just try to see what's going on? Because like I said, they're going to try and hide it. So is there any way we can try to see some of these things before we're all the way in there and now it comes up, right?
Right. So with a lot of narcissistic people that think they look good and they have nice house, nice job, car, they're well kept, well groomed. Women look at a man, boom, within a minute or two, she sees all of that. She may like his head size, right? His beard, his hands, his feet, the way he dresses, the way he smells, his teeth. Boom, within 30 seconds, she can see that. Then she's gonna have a conversation. Okay, let's go to dinner, Leon. The conversation's good. Oh wow, okay. Conversation's good, on point, entertaining, laughing, joking. And then the moral part is he gonna keep his word? Is he gonna show up Wednesday like he said, or he's gonna call me when he gets home? Is he gonna call me the next day? Is he gonna ghost me? So it's 3 stages to that. It'll start for narcissistic people. They'll start the telltale panel light up real quick. But to answer your question, like you said, watch the patterns and pay attention to what they say. Those things change or they don't become who they say they were in the beginning. They struggle.
Absolutely.
Then a mass start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No consistency. No consistency.
Yeah.
That's definitely only narcissistic people can only hold. It's like their attention span is real short, right? The attention span is short. They're very impulsive, and everything is about self gratification. So if they see where something with one woman or man is going to be a challenge or whatever in this area, they already probably working on another supply or having another supply that they can fall back on, where they can get everything that they need from that person, especially if they find a person that's very naive and gullible, I would say.
Exactly.
And don't have, like Leon said, don't have street cred, right? Don't know what's going on because they live a very secluded life. All they do is work and come home and, possibly be a mother to a young kid or children or whatever. And they're not like well-rounded out in the streets, so to speak. They don't have the street smarts, right?
Right.
And if they're very naive and gullible, they are easy targets to a narcissist.
Very.
And also if they are empaths, they can be easily targeted. But if you have like myself being an empath, but I tend to like to think that I have a pretty strong willed mind and moral compass and boundaries, and I am very expressive. I don't mind saying how I feel, what I'm thinking or whatever, and if I have a problem, I'm gonna speak up on that problem, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent of the turnout. I'm gonna speak and say what I want to say. I want my voice to be heard. I think that's very challenging for a narcissistic person to endure a woman like me, even though I'm an empath, right? So they 9 times out of 10, like my narc did, was already had a supply already, or they're looking for one or whatever. So I think somewhere where one woman is a challenge, they definitely have that other supply. And then they have that one woman either at home or live with or outside that's going to take any and everything off of them. And that's the part that's really, really bad, because knowingly or not knowingly, they're feeding into the narc more. And that's why I think it's going to be like an epidemic of a vicious cycle of these type of relationships happen. Would you agree, Brother Leon?
Yeah, because a lot of times the women, not a lot of times, sometimes, allow that behavior to carry on over and over and over again. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Definitely.
Leon, I have a question too, and then we're going to answer, if you don't mind, we can answer Sister Donna's question.
Yes.
My question was, okay, you was talking about, you leaving as a narc, you just leave the situation, right? Now, my question is, even if the person is compliant to everything you ask, why does the narcissist leave the situation? Why? Because this person's being compliant, right? You told them, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. You done scolded them, you humiliated them, you broken them down, and they are very compliant, like Patrice was talking about, and you still leave. Why? Why does the narcissist leave even though the person's compliant?
Because they've already been conquered. And then the next person, it's a thrill. And then when I conquer her, it's like, ooh, I didn't think I could do that. I got her. Let me try this again with her. Or let me try an Asian woman. Let me try a tall, skinny white lady. Whatever. But once you conquer, that's why I say when you mentioned it earlier that some men will feel bad about hurting their wife or girlfriend. They go back, baby, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again, and they never do it again. I wasn't that dude. I'm like, I don't know how you could be. Yeah. And so once they conquer or master her, she becomes boring. Because now it depends on what you did to conquer and master her, how she acts or reacts to the way you handle her. She may be deeply in love, and you know she's you know when a woman ain't going anywhere. And now it's like, okay, baby, I'll be back. Now you do what the hell you want to do. She's not gonna call. She's not gonna press you because she's in love. She doesn't want to set you up. So now you go try to do that with somebody else. And that's why I was a serial dater and a serial cheater.
Even in the marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, bro, Clarence. It's totally about divide and conquer for the narcissist, and it's totally about the supply. I learned that, and it's about, like he's saying, when the narcissists know they have that person hook, line, and sinker, it's to them they've broken that person down. They got them in their mind. I got her now. She ain't going nowhere. I got her.
Y'all. We got a question in the chat. Sister Donna says, please ask Leon about narcissistic dating another narcissistic person. What do you think about that, Leon?
Question. That is a great question.
We might have to give her the book. We might have to give her the book.
I can't even imagine.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you got a little static, man. You got some static there. But
what about now?
A little bit, still a little bit.
I hear static on y'all end too, so I'll go ahead. But I dated 4 women that I think if they go check in with psychotherapists, they'd be diagnosed. I can't stand them. They're pretty women, and the sex was great, but that's it. I don't want to. No, they're just.
Was it more challenging? Like, did y'all like really bump heads?
Always bumped heads. Always, yeah. And it was because it was like a control thing. I'm like, look, you're a woman. You shouldn't act that way. Nah, but they knew who I am. They know, like,
dysfunction.
They know. Yeah, they know I was a cheater, a player. They know. They like, nah, you can't get that over on me now. So it was me coming to them. It was gonna always be a battle because they're not going to submit. They're not going to let the guard down. If we dating for a couple of weeks, just have fun. That's what it is. Leon, you're going to pay. You're going to take me. Okay, until I get tired of you, you're going to be telling me what to do. So it was always, and these were women that I was really physically attracted to, whether it was their lips, their eyes, their skin, their hair, their butt, their breasts, whatever. I was attracted to them, but it was personality-wise, we didn't mesh at all. It was always a challenge. It was always a struggle. And the moment I got the upper hand and I'm leading them, and they're happy, to like, oh shoot, let me pull back on Leanne because I ain't trying to like it. Because these are women that I dated before and I hurt their feelings. I broke their hearts. And so I hardened them. I made them hard towards me. And then some of my friends were like, man, I can't mess with her, dog. After you got done with her, man, she didn't even want to date nobody else. So there was that type of thing. And I wasn't the only one that hurt her, but I was like the main guy that did it, you know? So I wouldn't date. If I know that she's narcissistic, we're not gonna even get started. I won't even sleep with her. I promise you that.
How would you know? How would you know, Leon?
Well, yeah. So because they just like me. They are just like me. Like when we talking and they don't want to be wrong. They get offended easily. They need to be complimented. The reciprocity lacks, the empathy, all of that. I see it just like that. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna. I know women right now, like I said, beyond those ones that I dated, some other ones that they will go to sit with a psychotherapist. There's a great chance they'll get diagnosed as narcissistic women.
I can imagine the relationship of someone like yourself, a overt versus a female covert. That's got to be like a disaster.
Yeah, it's not even fun. It's not even fun. I can handle them. Or I can handle them.
2 overts.
Yeah. I can handle them.
2 covert.
Right. I can handle them, but I wouldn't want to because I know where it's going.
And that's a lot of extra work for nothing, right? You don't get the results you're looking for, huh?
I ain't doing it right.
We got another question. Quiz Medicine. Shout out to Quiz Medicine. Quiz Medicine asks, ask Leon, what is narcissistic mortification? I never heard of this. Do you know what that is, Leon?
So a lot of people say it's like when it's like a narcissistic person has been injured, right? A lot of times it can happen when they have hit their rock bottom. When it's over with, I've hit my rock bottom, and a lot of times people, when they get to that mode of narcissism, that's a good chance to start working on themselves to change. Because a lot of times the older ones get to that point and nothing works for them anymore. That's why they say they get worse as they get older. The supply starts to go away. They don't look as good. They don't get the attention. Nobody wants to be around them. And so it's like a death sentence, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think a lot of narcissistic people. I know when I worked in like a skilled nursing home or nursing facility, and you will see a lot of old people die, and they die alone. No one's there. No one's around them. I would always sometimes wonder why no one was there to care and love that person and see them, till they take their last breath. I think there are going to be a lot of narcissistic people in the world that are going to die alone. There was a statistics data maybe about 10 years ago when I was working in the skilled nursing facility that said the majority of the people that were dying alone in the skilled nursing facility were men. They were men.
I believe that's going to switch. That's definitely going to switch as the years go on, but that's another conversation, right? But
I don't know, considering the numbers of how the men are leading at a higher rate percentage of having narcissistic personality disorder. I don't know about that one, bro, Clarence.
What I mean by that is that men are statistically not going to live as long as women, and there's a lot of narcissistic women out there as well, and they're going to have some place to live, right? And their family, just like men, their family's not going to want them around. Their friends they're not going to have no friends, nobody, and they're going to be in this like bubble that nobody wants to approach, right? And so it was a self-made prison. And so I'm glad this brother was able to, recognize what was going on, how by any means necessary, and just decide, hey, I don't want to be in this situation. I want to do something better. Now the question is, Brother Leon and all the other narcissists, because you lead me right into my question I was going to ask them. Okay, so now you decide that, hey, I want some help. I don't want this life for myself. I want to do something else. What is it in you because I could tell you're a military man, you've been through a lot, so you ain't gonna get something for nothing. If you want this different life, there's gonna be a sacrifice. There's gonna be some pain. You're gonna have to do some things to get to where you're trying to get to, right?
Right.
So what made you decide, you know what I got to go to do this is worth it?
So a lot of things started to happen. Karma started coming around. I was about to retire. I didn't have the reputation anymore. The recognition was gone. All the fanfare, all the cheering, all the high fives, all the pats on the backs. No more promotions, no more awards. It was starting to slowly. I went into a state of depression. And so active duty as a senior leader, you always have people around you. You're very pretentious. You make a lot of money. You get invited to everything. People like you. People hate on you. People can't touch you. You feel like a king. I was making $120,000 a year. I was in charge of a lot of people, but I took it for granted. And so when it was,
let me ask you about that, because again, we covered that before. Me telling you were considered a high value man. So as we know, that was the whole, soliloquist with Brother Kevin Samuels. And when I think about it in retrospect, a lot of those men that those women will get on his panel and said that they wanted, I think it's a possibility that was absolutely a scenario or setup to have to have a narcissistic man or be in a relationship with a narcissistic man, because most of men that have had all those things that you have had, money, power, prestige, the title, the home, the car, dress nice, smell good, the whole nine, for the most part, are narcissistic men that feel that they are entitled, like Brother Kevin Samuel said, they should be entitled to have multiple women, which I think is a narcissistic thought in and of itself. But I remember him telling these women, you're going to have to deal with the fact that he going to have maybe 2 or 3 other women on the side, because he's deserving of that, because he's a high value man that has all of this. And so guess what? You're not going to be the only one. I think that in and of itself is narcissistic.
So what happens is, me, I was totally different. So I was making $120,000. I had a network, I had a net worth, right? I had a social gathering. I had access to things. I had a great credit score. I had a decent vehicle, my own home, my own benefits. High value. Some of these guys want to be high value, and I could talk. And women said I wasn't bad looking. So some of these guys are like, okay, I make $120,000. I got my MBA. I got my degree, but they ain't easy on the eyes, or whatever the women say. I'm not trying to be funny, but these guys want to be something that they're not ready for, right? And so you can be a decent looking guy and make $80,000, or make $75,000 and be a great man, better than the high value, be better than me, right? That high value stuff is not really a solid foundation, because
what it's
guys
cut out to be.
Yeah,
it's not
right.
what it's cut out to be, because a lot of those men, not only were they narcissistic or felt entitled to do what they want to do in relationship with women, they also were very abusive. Some of those men were some of the most abusive men. I had some friends that were with men that made high 6 figures and prestige and this and that, and they were very verbal and physically abusive.
Mm-hmm. Because
which it's possible they could have been narcissistic, or right.
There's a good chance that they were, because they're privileged, and so those guys are privileged because of their rank, their money, their title, but they don't know how to handle or talk to a woman. They don't even know how to be fathers. So that high value man, a lot of guys took it the wrong way and tried to run with it, and it doesn't work. And when a woman doesn't want your money, she wants your quality time, she wants your physical touch, she wants your conversation. And a lot of those high value men don't possess that.
And what I'm finding also, if I can intervene right here, because I think this is so important, in these YouTube streets especially, I hear a lot of talk, which I think is absolutely kind of narcissistic reasoning or thought process, from what I'm hearing, for men that want to get into poly relationships. Because when I hear them talk about the poly relationship, I don't hear them talk about it in the aspect of how it really is supposed to be done, if you will, or enacted out. I hear it from a narcissistic thought process as the fact that they want more than one woman, period. Oh, and they use that as an excuse.
Right.
Say, I'll be in a poly relationship where I can have 2 or 3 wives, or 2 or 3 women, or house situations, right? Just so that they can have the women, which I think is narcissistic in and of itself. I don't hear them saying that I want to be in it. I don't hear that there's boundaries, there's rules, there's respect, there's, all of these things. Almost every panel where I've heard them talk about poly life, it's been for a self-serving gratification, not for what back in those times what poly really stood for.
Right. It's for self-serving reasons. It's for the ego. It's for lust and greed too. Definitely.
Okay. Leon, I got a couple questions for you, man. I know I've been peppering you, man, because you are a really good source of information, man. So I'm just trying to ask you while we got
you.
Okay. Can a narcissistic person actually love somebody else? Right? If you're talking about the narcissistic person breaking somebody else's heart, can the narcissistic person actually love the person they victimizing?
I don't know about the person that they victimize, but I think they can find the love eventually if they do the work, the hard work. You know, in therapy, my therapist was like, "Is there anything that you like about your girlfriend?" I was like, "Yeah, I could name things off."
No, brother. I'm not talking about a person like yourself that's has decided and made this is taking the steps to change that mentality and behavior. I'm talking about somebody that's acting in that behavior. Can they love somebody?
Now they're not gonna. They don't even think about it. They don't want to talk about it. But the key thing is they don't want to feel that love because it's like it's a fear of connecting with people on a deeper level. That was my fear. And so I was always avoiding things. I was always deflecting, right? I was always running away. I was always shying away. I didn't want to talk about love. I didn't want to talk about commitment. Although I was married, I wasn't a good husband. I was married on paper, but I wasn't committed like that to my vows. It wasn't holy matrimony. And so they don't think about love for whatever their reason is. My reason was I didn't want to hear about love because it was too much about getting close to somebody and having my heart broke, like my mother broke my heart.
Yeah, the vulnerability, right?
Oh yeah, I wasn't about that life. So I would tell women, don't talk about love. I want to hear that. I would go off bad, and then it's like, okay, Leon, we won't talk about that anymore. You know, so we got that fixed right there.
Okay. And I got another question for you. Thank you for that. Should a person, I don't know, maybe like we were talking about the dating situation, right? Patrice talked about, question you could ask a narc or a person to try to find out if they have narcissistic tendencies or whatever. And none of us are doctors, so we're just talking in a general sense. But should a person get into a relationship with a narcissist? Somebody go out with me. I'm a narcissist, and they go out with me, and they see that they getting a little vibe like, hey man, he might be a little narcissist. Is there going to be any benefit, or is it just going to be all bad for them being in a relationship with a narcissist?
Well, for me, there's benefit because she'll see that I've grown, right? There's a lot of changes that I've had to make, and I know why I made them, and I know why I needed to make them, and I know why I was the way that I was. But the benefits of that for a person dating a narcissistic person is the only benefit.
I'm talking about somebody, Leon, actively in there. I'm not talking about a cat like yourself. I'm talking about a cat that's actively in the business.
No, the only benefits you're gonna get is the first week or so of love bombing. You get treated right. You're gonna get the restaurants and some gifts and massages.
We can give them maybe a 2 to 3 months if they real good at narking now. My love bombing would last a good 2 months. Indeed.
Leon said his program was tighter than that.
Patrice, I go with Patrice. I give him a good 2 months. But then you got to start figuring out when you're gonna make your exit plan because they're gonna exit on you.
Absolutely. Especially when you start to figure them out and ask questions and challenge them and hold them accountable for not being consistent in what they say. The first thing about a narcissist in that process, the love bombing is going to stop. It's going to stop. It either stops cold turkey or you will see the difference in it starting to slowly go away and break apart. The detachment, the not as engaging, the not consistent, not follow up. All of that starts to like slow down or either completely cut off, depending on the narc and depending on the situation with the supply on the side. That's what I'm saying. But absolutely, they are not very good with being consistent. Actions in the beginning does not align up to who they really are because that's not really them.
But see, that's the problem, Patrice. They don't find the person don't find out till 2 months
most of the time until it's too late. Yes.
Well, nowadays the last couple of years, people have been aware of what's going on with narcissistic people, so they kind of like watch out for certain things. They look for patterns. They ask questions. They don't get hooked in real easily, you know. So it's changing now.
Okay,
I
that's
gotta
good.
ask you something, and you let me know if you don't want to answer this question, but I'm just gonna say it. Some of these relationship gurus are narcissists. And I want to speak specifically about Brother Derek Jackson.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he's
listen.
so the thing with him, um it would be hard to diagnose him because if they go by his videos, they'll go, but he's gonna probably be offended sitting in front of a psychotherapist and she just eating away at him, right? Like me. But I sit there and took it. I'm like, ooh, you know, he's not, because he's got all of his success early in life. He's like 32, 33, maybe
Right.
34. I had successes.
Fooled a lot of women though, Brother Leon. He fooled. Listen, I just recently saw an interview he just done recently,
With
and
Lapeef, yeah.
no, not the one with Lapeef. The one with is this other guy. He just literally just done this not that long ago. And he was talking about his relationship with his now ex-wife or soon to be ex-wife. I don't know if they divorced or not, but anyway, when a man consistently talks about the woman and how she cheated and more of things she done, and failed to mention or be, not that he didn't mention it, but when he did talk about it, he didn't hit some of the pointed points of his actions of being
Yes, sir.
a
All
habitual
right, big
cheater
brother. Thank you.
wife, nor did he take accountability. That was a big red flag for me. In every interview I've ever seen him do, he said, and he talked about himself in the third person. That's suspect to me.
Yeah.
Yes, Jackson cheated. Yes, Derek cheated. What? You're talking about yourself.
Well,
And
he can
then it
separate
was,
he can separate himself from himself when he does that.
yeah, it was no accountability, but he talked specifically in detail about the things that his ex-wife did, but didn't talk about in detail with the things he did. He kind of hit pinpoint some points here there, but and there was absolutely no accountability. I says no. That to me, that was narcissistic all the way. And I know I'm not a psychotherapist or a medical professional, but I just saw it all over the brother. And to know that he was the one that was the habitual cheater in a relationship speaks volumes, as opposed to times when him and his wife were separated and not dating each other. Then he said they both was doing stuff.
But you know what, Patrice, I'm gonna tell you something. And this is why Black women are so powerful. When I'm talking about two men, when Kevin Samuels was talking about Black men 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? He was saying, buy these razors, wear this cologne, sit your butt down, shut up and listen. He was at 300,000 followers. As soon as he told that woman she's average at best, he went up to 1.7 million. You know who took him up to 1.7 million?
Women.
Right? So check this out. When Derek Jackson had his wife slung all over the internet and he's looking stupid, he got another woman pregnant, blah, 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 blah. They talked about him like a dog. The men hated on him. He'll do a video now to get 300,000 views. How many people you think are women in those views?
Women, probably 95%. And it's amazing because you would still see women, oh, poor him, and he just needs to be forgiven, and he's taking accountability. No, he wasn't. He never did.
Right. My point in all of this is that if you want to stay relevant after you screw up, after you cheat, women will do it for you.
Yep.
It's proven in the numbers.
Yeah, and that's why this vicious cycle of narcissism will continue to be a vicious cycle, right? And we can't. I mean, more people, like you're saying, are becoming privy to it and hip to it and doing research on it and things like that. Especially, I think people like myself and other people that have been in narcissistic relationships and realizing that, that something was seriously wrong with this person, and it wasn't me for real, like having me question my own reality. And you start really looking into this and finally being able to break away. Because I must say, I admit, I got triggered again, and I had to get back in therapy for myself, because I think that that's a part of the reality that people that have been in a relationship with a narcissistic person, I think even later down the line, even if you're not in a relationship with a narcissistic person, certain things can still trigger you, right? Like you still can be triggered, like totally innocently, or in a relationship with somebody else, unknowing that something they said or done, and they may not, they are not a narcissist, but
Right.
it still could be something that can trigger you.
It will. I mean, it has long lasting effects, but you can learn how to regulate and manage those triggers.
Yes.
You don't have to be
Yeah.
so strong and devastating. Go ahead.
All right, brother. I want to ask you another question. You were talking about the third person separation, right? That Derek Jackson was like, well, Derek Jackson did that. Derek Jackson did this. Derek Jackson, and
Third
like you
person.
said, but that's you, right? So is that something that you see in from your experience, right? I know you're not a doctor, not diagnosing anybody, but from your experience, is that a strategy that a narcissistic person may use to once they recognize that maybe they don't feel they don't have empathy for this other person, but they see that other people have empathy for the person, and they expect the narcissist person to at some point have some empathy, so they can show empathy by saying this other person did it, but it's actually them. You understand what I'm saying? Because you made a good point about that separating, you separating yourself from actually what happened. Could you elaborate on that a little more?
Yeah. And so who's going to say, Leon, why are you saying Leon did it and you're Leon? Nobody's going to say that. So I'm going to say it. Hey, Leon said, so that I detached from the real Leon. So
and then a lot of people won't even call you out on it, like you said, or catch you on. But because I'm like, did these people not hear him talk about himself in the third person, and he's sitting right here?
Yeah.
But Leon, why? What's the purpose of doing that?
Right. The purpose of doing that is so that you don't get nervous. That's Leon right there. Y'all talking about Leon. Derek Jackson, Derek Jackson.
And you separating yourself from yourself.
Yeah, I'm not attached to those emotions. Okay, if I say, yeah, man, I cheated, man, I broke her heart. Now I'm dealing with those emotions. Or I'll go, yeah, man, Leon in 1990 was an MF, man. He was sick. I'm not attached to that dude in 1990. That ain't me.
Okay.
Right.
But it is me.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Now, that's good. But I'm just trying to find out. I'm trying to find out, like, why would, if you're going to go talk about yourself in third person and separate yourself, what would be the reason why you would do something like that?
Because I can do it for a whole 2 hours and get the views and stuff like that.
Okay.
Attention.
All right. Okay. And then you can't get mad at me because I kind of halfway took accountability for it, right?
I showed up to the show. Lucky to have me here. Now we're gonna talk about Leon. Yeah.
But I got a new book coming out.
Leon did do that. Yeah, Patrice, she did do that. Patrice did cheat. She did. I will admit that she did cheat. Like, right. and I'm talking about myself in the third person. I said, am I the only one that see this? Like, that's insane. And again, like I said, every time he pinpointed his situation, it was very brief, it wasn't detailed, and there was no accountability. But every time he talked about his ex-wife, he went in detail with the things she done.
He had to justify why he did what he did, or why he felt the way he felt, or why he acted the way he acted.
Exactly. And again, That's a form of deflecting and gaslighting in a sense. And if it's your interview, you need to be talking more about you than what your wife did. That's another thing that I noticed.
Right.
The guy was actually interviewing him about his indiscretions, and he totally turned it and flipped it and made it more about his wife indiscretion.
Well, Lapeef is good. I like him, but he shouldn't have had him on there after he brought his wife on there. So that kind of everything he said with Derek Jackson just covered or just blew out the water what his wife was saying and doing while she was there. So he went after her. If he'd went before her and she came on, that'd have been different. Now all we remember is Derek Jackson on Lapeef's show and not his wife.
I didn't see that interview. I saw this other interview, but okay, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty much the same scenario. He does it on all his interviews. He totally deflect. There's no accountability, and he totally gaslight. People don't even realize they gaslight you in the interview. They're pros at it.
Well, let me ask you. Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You good, bro? You good?
I have another question. Man, Leon, forgive me, brother, because we ain't had you in a while, so I got you. I'm pinning you down, man. I'm asking you a question. Now, this is a real serious question. I mean, all of our questions have been serious, but now we get into serious. We're going to talk about violence for a minute. Okay, now, I would estimate that probably most narcissists are not of the violent. Something really serious has to happen before they would even consider violence in a relationship.
Malignant narcissists are violent from what I'm read and was told. Malignant guy. Go ahead, but yeah, all those are the violent.
But I would think that group is smaller than the general group of narcissists, right? Most narcissists just want to control the situation as opposed to getting something out of being violent. I think there is a group within narcissists that get something out of the violence, but I would think that most of the guys that are narcissists are not that way. But I want to talk about when the guys that are the most like just not the violent per se, when they get to a point, what would drive them into
did
possibly
brother just
being
freeze?
violent? Did I freeze? Am I frozen?
No.
Okay. What would possibly?
It may have been me. I don't.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, bro, Clarence, there is subtitles to each of those narcissistic traits, right? And the malignant, like brother Leon said, is the most violent ones, but there's also overt and covert with psychopathic or sociopathic behavior traits as well, and they can also be violent.
Yeah, I know, and I'm saying that all of them can probably get violent, but my point is most of them are probably not the violent type. Initial, they're not, violent off the rip. So what I'm trying to find out from Leon is, okay, so most women are probably going to be dealing with this type here, which are the, like they say, they're going to put on a good show. You're going to go for the pony ride, everything, right? And so when it gets bad, it's not going to be violent, but it's going to be a real rough ride. My question for Leon is, what is there at any point where you ever considered violence to handle a situation dealing with somebody you were dealing with at the time?
Yeah, so what happens is if you can't get them to fold or bend or break by manipulation or yelling and screaming, verbal abuse, you think about other ways of getting them to fold or bend or break by any means necessary for winning. Narcissistic people have to win at all costs.
Agreed.
Yeah. So the thing that stopped me was like being in the military, because you put hands on people, you get in trouble. I don't want to lose my career. But in the 80s and 90s, verbal abuse was all time high. Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't a bad thing necessarily.
Okay.
Right. And also bro Clarence, I would say I think there is a substantial high number of violent narcissist people, because look at the numbers of a lot of these men that are unaliving their wives and the exes. I'm telling you, it's rising. They
I
have
believe it's a high number,
sociopathic and psychopathic tendencies.
but I believe it's a high number. I just don't believe it's the bigger portion of the group. If you take the whole group of narcissists, I don't believe, even though those guys have a high number, I think the higher number is the guys that are just, pulling the strings on people and willing to break their hearts and leave them and just dog them. And I think the more aggressively violent guys, I think that's another group within the group. And that's my personal opinion.
Correct. But I'm saying those numbers are rising because
okay, I got you.
Because of all of the violence against women, unfortunately, those numbers are rising, especially in our community.
Agreed.
Well, let me ask you this, Brother Clarence. What if you took the population of prisons only and asked that question?
See?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's my point, Leon. It's like, if you took the population of America and you said, okay, people are doing stuff, but only this number of people are in prison, right? So does that mean that everybody's not committing those kind of crimes? No, a lot of people committing those crimes don't get caught. But this is the number. These are the guys that got caught. These are the most serious individuals, right? And so that's what I'm saying. That number to me is a subset of the other number, because I think there's a lot of them out there. I agree with Patrice. There's a lot of them out there. So I'm not saying don't watch out for those guys either. But what I'm saying is, I think some of the guys that are just, they're just narcissistic. What I mean by narcissistic, my viewpoint of that is where they're just trying to control a person's movement and behavior, not with putting their hands on them, but just with the mental manipulation. I think that's the bigger number of narcissists out there. But hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think is the bigger number out there?
You mean in society as a whole?
Yeah, I mean in narcissists. I mean, just a group of narcissists out there. We know there's a lot of them out there, but is the guys that are the nonviolent the minority, or the guys that are really violent the majority? What do you guys think?
That's a good question, and that's a good statistic to look up, because again, like I said, now overall, I think for the most part, there probably are more non-violent
or are they close
than violent. But like I said, those numbers are growing really fast with the more sociopathic, psychopathic, malignant narcissists that are absolutely causing harm and wreaking havoc on men and women as a whole in society. Unfortunately, I really do know that the numbers are growing. When you see majority of the time on the news where, unfortunately, these guys are, like I said, they're unaliving the girlfriends. Rejection is a big thing for them. They can't stand rejection. So if the woman leaves them, breaks up with them, gets divorced, wants a divorce, they have a problem with that. Those type of narcs. Those
I know women going.
And there's a history already of physical abuse prior to them unaliving the women most of the time.
Right.
Agreed. Go ahead, Leon. You gonna say something?
Yeah, I know a lot of women going through that now. I did a video about it when a narcissistic person or a toxic person says, I want a divorce. And then she filed. That's not what they want. He's gonna lose his mind.
All right, I got a question for you, bro. You just brought something up and made me ask a question, man. I'm curious, man, like a cat, right? So, you said a narcissistic person or a toxic person. What is the difference between those two? If you can explain that.
I only do that because we don't know if people are diagnosed narcissistic. You don't have to diagnose people to be toxic. So I just put them in the same kind of category.
Okay.
So I could say, I could say the narcissistic person, but I know myself and Lee Hammock and Raw Motivations and a few females, but I'll say toxic people, that could be a whole new group of people, you know. So
Okay.
I
and they kind
agree.
of share,
I agree.
Including the narcissist, right? Okay.
yeah, and they kind of share the same mindset, do the same things,
Ah.
trauma, neglect, abuse, you
Yeah.
know, toxic.
That's why a lot of times you will see a narcissistic person get with a toxic person that's dysfunctional, and they feed off of each other, because a
Yeah.
toxic person that likes drama is not necessarily a narcissist. They actually could have another personality disorder, possibly.
Mhm.
Possibly they can have
Agreed.
another personality disorder. There's multiple personality disorders, right? And then sometimes a toxic or dysfunctional person can actually feed off of, so for so long, the narcissist, that's all they used to. So they become this functional kind of narcissistic person in a narcissistic relationship, and they become like a functional addict, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the
Because they kind of
codependency.
feed off of that.
Yes,
Thank you,
yeah.
codependency. That's the word.
Mhm.
And so when you see those type of relationships, which are totally unhealthy relationships, just as well as a narcissist being in a relationship with a non-narcissist, it's all unhealthy, because it's unhealthy for the non-narcissist person,
Right.
right? If that makes sense, it's unhealthy. None of these relationships are healthy relationships. The thing about a narcissist, the reason why I believe there will be a lot of undiagnosed people is that narcissist people, for the most part, don't think anything is wrong with them.
Right.
Agreed.
They
Agreed.
don't.
Agreed.
You know, it has to be a come to self type of thing, just like I guess any person with an addiction, to realize that
Like it's wrong.
I'm an
Flat,
addict.
right?
I got to take accountability. I'm an addict. I need help. A person with a narcissistic personality disorder have to come to those terms as well. And I think that's the hardest thing for a narcissist person to do, because they think, well, I don't have a problem with alcohol or drugs or this or that. But most of the time, there is an underlying addiction that they have. Again, whether it's eating, it could be eating, overeating, it could be gambling, it could be porn, it could be engaging in multiple sex partners, threesomes, orgies, drugs, alcohol. It's a multitude of things, for the most part, not all, some, that narcissistic people have this underlying hidden addiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
All right. So let me answer this question, and you guys can answer it too if you want to, because we'll see if we all agree on what violence is. So Kay Kirkland asks, shout out to Kay Kirkland, by the way, says, when you mention violence, what exactly do we mean? Well, what I mean in violence means that pretty much like the definition you put down here, where anything where likely that some type of physical injury or maybe even some more morbidity may occur based on the behavior of the narcissistic person. So that could be any range of things happening, but basically the injure or create unalive the person, and based on simply the fact that the narcissistic person feels that person deserves that type of behavior.
Physical abuse,
self-defense.
Definitely physical abuse is violent, right? Even though we know verbal abuse is as well. There's emotional abuse. There's psychological abuse. There's mental abuse. All of that come from it. Can come from being in a narcissistic relationship. Would you agree, brother Leon?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All of those, a few of them, more of them, spiritual abuse, financial abuse. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so if we use Kai Kirkland says, if we use this definition, then almost all narcissists are violent. Well, I don't know about that. I don't have those numbers to verify that, but I would think just as a general group of people, a lot of them or most of them are not the violent type. Now, like Patrice said, and now is it like this is the group that's violent? This is the group that's non-violent. This is or not as violent, and this is the group that's really violent. No, it might be more closer to like around here, right? So we'll see. We don't have those numbers yet, but any type of physical force, this is my thing. And Leon and Patrice can tell you what they think. But what I think is anytime you have to use violence to get your point across, like Malcolm said, violence is the lowest form of communication. When you can't communicate anymore and can't persuade the person to see it the way you're trying to get them to see it, then the especially uncivilized people will go to violence first, but the civilized people will try to use civil means of communication, and then violence comes in there. Now, in my opinion, in a relationship, it should always be civil and respectful, even if you upset hot, because that's what marriage vows are for, right? You don't need the marriage vows on the honeymoon. You don't need the marriage vows when everything's going good. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. No, Lee, I got to go to work. No, I got to go to work. No, go ahead and go. No, stay. No, go. Right? You don't need the vows in that, right? But you need the vows when, you came home from work. You worked hard all day. You come home and you come in and your wife is sitting on the couch. No chicken cooking, no nothing, no pot roast, nothing, right? You're like, what's going on here, right? See, those are things when you get disappointed. That's when the vows are for when you at points where you may feel disappointed. So that's why we need the vows, right? So I'm saying all that to say that violence is, I don't think violence ever should be used in any situation in a civil matter unless it's to defend yourself. That's my personal opinion.
Bro, Clarence, I agree with that, but I want to say everything you said, saying that to a narcissist in a narcissist relationship or marriage is word salad. That's all it is. It's word salad to a person that's a narcissist, honestly. Because if you're not a narcissist, that will mean something. That means something to the average person. That means nothing to a narcissist. All of what you said is just word salad, if that makes sense. And Donna, I want to say you are absolutely right. I did leave out sexual abuse because I've heard many women talk about being in a marriage with a narcissist and them actually are wording them, like forcing themselves, forcing the woman to to have intercourse with them. So sexual abuse is definitely another form of abuse and being in a relationship with a narcissistic person. So I want to make clear of that as well. And there's always definitely some form of some type of sexual addiction.
Well, let's let Leon, since Leon has been the person with the most experience in this type of lifestyle. Leon, what do you think violence is, or how would you characterize violence in this situation?
Well, violence, we can talk about the R word, the M word.
Agreed.
We can talk about shooting,
agreed,
slapping, cutting, all of that. But I will tell you this. People that are diagnosed narcissistic people don't never want to get in trouble and be removed from the streets or supply or having access to people. Once you go to jail, you lose out on a lot of things. Me being out here, being social, being around people, having a network, getting what I want, people praise me, all this other stuff. I never want to go to jail. Yeah, I didn't want no trouble.
Right.
I didn't want to be reprimanded. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to lose momentum. I wanted people to always look up to me. So I ain't violent. I can fight, but I don't want to try to get. I ain't trying to have no setbacks. Now, if there's a fight where somebody approach you and you beat them up, that's good for the narcissistic person because it makes them look, big and bad. They like that too, especially the malignant narcissists. I think they're the ones that are more violent than anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I think violence come more natural for them. But Kay Kirkland, question to you is speak on the narcissistic rage and how that may relate to violent behavior.
So what happens is, first, if you have a woman that she's starting to change and she's getting stronger and she's getting better and she doesn't submit anymore, she doesn't listen to you, she doesn't cower down, she doesn't cry anymore. When a narcissistic person starts to lose control, they look for other ways and means to control them. The lowest form, like Clarence said, the lowest form of communication is violence. So they go to that. They may not care about going to jail, but they got to do whatever they can to get control back of her. So it's like, well, then if he slaps her or chokes her, she's in shock. You never did that before to me, and blah, blah. And so that's another form of control. Because if she's starting to get her feet back up under her and she's strong and she's talking back, or she's going on trips, she's with her family, she's with her girlfriends, he ain't gonna like it. But then if he strikes out and start becoming violent, then that may work for him. It may not. It may land him in jail. So it's a chance that he has to take. I would never take that chance. I didn't like losing women that start to get strong and come on and understand who I really was. I didn't like losing them to that, but it happens.
Yeah, I think when it goes into that, that rage goes into that form of violence or physical, sometimes, the woman will have to get an order of protection. And even with that, she's not always safe. Prime example of that is so many women that have gotten order protections, from the man that was a narcissist and definitely was showing narcissistic rage and being violent, and it didn't always help. I have also encouraged women to, especially when they come out of abusive relationships, I have encouraged women to go get licensed and trained and go get something to protect themselves. I have encouraged that on many occasions as a woman that's out here, and we know that we cannot overpower men, that men can definitely overpower us. I have definitely encouraged women that has come out of any form of physically abusive relationship, that has had to have an order of protection taken out on a man, have had to change her life, her job, have had to move to another city, a whole nother state, or whatever. I have absolutely encouraged them to go get licensed, go get trained to and take self-defense and go to the range and get you some training, honey, and learn to protect yourself.
Definitely.
Because the life you save may be your own.
Definitely. Okay, Leon, I want to ask you now about and you got to tell us, Leon, if you got to go. Okay, so
I do. This will be the last one. I misjudged my time, so yeah, I got one more, but I got to take them in a minute.
Okay, brother. And we appreciate you for giving us some extra time, man, because we know your time is very valuable.
There's 3 airports here. We're not going to the one I thought was going to. We're going to one that's actually closer. So I can take one more question. I got to head out.
Thank you, brother. Okay. What types of things? I know we kind of went over this, but what should a person do, or in your opinion? Like I said, we're not doctors or anything, but in your opinion, once you kind of start putting the dots together and seeing that the person is kind of, even a little narcissistic, right? What do you think what do you think they should do? Like, for example, you just entering into a relationship. Well, let me make it 2-parter. The person that's just entering into a relationship and the person that's married to the person that's, you're in a long-term relationship, and then you finally get to the point where you realize, hey man, this person ain't never gonna change. What do you think these people should do, as far as, should they try to change the person? Should they try to change themselves to change them to, acquiesce to this person? Or what in your opinion, what do you think they should do?
I think they should work on themselves and figure out why they want to stay with somebody that's not treating them right.
Good point.
Because you can't change that other person. And if you see something's going on, if you know something's wrong, if you feel it, then like you say, if it walks like a duck, it's a duck. You need to take, you need to take that in consideration and not stay. People stay too long and they stay too wrong.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, okay. So what about even you saying the same? You have the same advice or opinion for both situations?
What was the other situation?
The other situation was the person been married to this person and they just thought this was their personality, and now they realize that, oh my God, this person is a narcissist, or
Well,
they think that rather.
yeah. What they need to do is try to get the person in therapy. That's the only one. That's the only way to find out. And that
Okay.
person, there's a chance that they're not going to go through therapy. When they don't want to go through therapy, they are not going to gain any type of knowledge, clarity, or awareness as to why they act the way that they act. Had I not gone through therapy, I wouldn't be talking to you all now. I would not have had any knowledge about forgiveness,
All right.
projecting, avoidance.
All the praise to God, man.
Yeah. I would not have processed why my uncle touched me, why my cousins molested me, why my babysitter did, why my brother showed me porn, why I was mad at my mother because my parents divorced, why I blamed my mother. Then I started blaming women for everything. I never blamed men for anything. Had I not gone through therapy, I would not have known any of that. So that's why when I'm talking to people on these interviews and you all and these videos I'm making, I understand exactly what I'm saying, why I make the video and what it means. I get it 100%. I could not have done this without therapy. Could not have done this without a medical professional sitting in front of me and saying, boop, 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 boop. Well, next week, Leon, we're going to talk about forgiveness. Next week, we're going to talk about avoidance. Well, Leon, next week, we're going to talk about your cognitive skills, why they're off. At 48 years old, 46, 48, 46, I think, I don't know. I never thought of, I didn't even know what my cognitive skills were on or off. I didn't know what the hell they were. But she told me that, I'm like, how can I be this old and my cognitive skills need to be discussed?
Yeah. I'm a big man in the military. What you talking about?
Okay, right? But I wasn't a big man in the military. Uniform wise, yeah. I was a little boy in a big man uniform.
Wow.
And that's predominantly, or if not all, narcissists people, issue, right, and problem is getting to the root of that inner trauma, that inner dysfunction, that inner toxicity that stayed with them ever since that was a child. And I want to be clear, and I know Brother Leon would agree with this. When you realize that just because you were a victim is no excuse to abuse other people. Let's be clear on it. It's zero excuse to abuse other people. A lot of times, unfortunately, victims become victimizers, right?
Yeah.
But when you can change that, like what Brother Leon is doing, and that's what I love about him, because he always say Leon before therapy, Leon before therapy. It's the fact of realizing that you have a problem and do something about it. That's the biggest thing.
Period.
I just want to say that. Please know that because something so horrific and bad happened to you is no reason to inflict that pain, and no excuse to inflict that pain on someone else.
All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap up. I think Sister Annie wants to say something to Leon, and then we're gonna let Leon go. Sister Annie?
Hey y'all.
Hey.
I just came up to say hey again.
Hey.
Yeah, and I want you to have a safe flight, but thank you so much for each of the days that you've come up here and helped just so many people. I'm praying for a lot of people, a lot of listeners, to hear you and to grow from it. And I pray for your success and your growth also. So I just wanted to come up and say hey and bye.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You can stay up, sister. We gonna hang on a little bit longer after Brother Leon go. We gonna let him. We gonna let him have closing words. But Brother Leon, I want to tell you, have a safe flight, and thank you so very much. But we definitely gonna let you have the floor.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, most important thing, and I always say this: I didn't even talk about therapy until I was in my 40s. I didn't even go to therapy until I was in my 40s. I didn't go and talk about it until 46. Before 46, I laughed at people that went to therapy. I was like, I'll never go to therapy. I don't need therapy. As a mature Black man with an ex-wife and kids, I should have been in therapy a very long time ago and for a very long time. But I was so arrogant and cocky and self-centered and egotistical and manly and masculine.
Hard to argue with success, man. It's hard to argue with success.
Hard to argue, but at what cost? You know, I spent 15 years out at sea on 5 ships, and half my other career was on shore. What did I miss out on? You know, how many people did I hurt? How much did my kids miss of their father? A lot. How bad was I of a husband to my ex-wife? Very bad. So the success didn't have to come at the cost of me losing my marriage and not having a great relationship with my kids. I'm still working on that. But the success, yeah, so I think therapy should be like, we need to call it something different, and it should be a required thing to do for people every now and then, like getting your license, you know, because it opened a lot of people's eyes, opened my eyes, made me think about things that I didn't know that was already there, that I was living every day. So I'll end it on that. But yeah, therapy is beautiful. It hurts. It could be long, but it works.
All right, brother. I agree absolutely. For somebody that has been in therapy before and that is now back in therapy, I would definitely say that it is definitely a help. It helps you get stronger mentally, emotionally, physically. If you work it, it works. I'll just say that, and I encourage our people to do it more. We've been through a lot of trauma as it is. In our own communities and families. And then when you get into a traumatic relationship or marriage with someone, then that's a double whammy. And a lot of times it can cause you to relive a lot of things over again in your own childhood. So yeah, I would definitely encourage therapy, brother. Thank you so very much. We got to bring you back because we still didn't talk about your military and all of that.
We got a lot to talk about, Leon.
We got much more. You family over here now anyway, so you got to.
We got to bring you back, brother. We got to have you come back. Now, this is Brother Leon R. Walker Jr. He's an author, and now he's starting his journey on trying to be the man that he says that he wants to be and he should have been all along, but he's on this journey now. Let's encourage this brother. Let's support the brother. I think Vaughn put his channel out there. Go to his channel, subscribe to the brother, check him out. He's always putting up some new little videos here and there, man, and he's just trying to help people on his own journey. So go check the brother out. Okay, Brother Leon, I know you got to go, brother. We appreciate the extra time you spent with us, man. We shout out to you, and we will see you.
We got to do the book giveaway next time.
That's cool. I got him. That's easy.
Okay.
So Leon, you gonna come? Leon, you gonna come back, right?
Oh yeah. Y'all can.
Oh, all right. I got him on tape. So he gonna come back. All right, Brother Leon. We're gonna put you down, man. You anything else?
Bye, brother. Safe travels.
All right. Yeah, anything, whenever y'all want me to come back, let me know. We can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
for sure. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
All right. I'll see y'all later.
I had to put Leon down, man, because I'll ask him. I'm going to mess around and ask Leon another question. So I had to put him down.
I know. We can go on and on for hours and write. Like it's so good. This was such another awesome stream.
I had to keep writing my questions down because I was like, man, I got another question.
I definitely had mine written down, brother. But thank you guys in the chat. At this time, we're gonna drop the link and have a little open dialogue. If someone want to come up and talk to us about your experience, or just talk to us and ask us questions, or if you want to come up and have a dialogue with us about your experience, you're more than welcome to do that. We just ask you before you come up on the panel, you just show your face. You don't have to cam up on the actual stream, but behind the scenes, you can let us know that you're not a robot or something, and you're more than welcome to come up here and have the conversation. We're going to talk a little bit more about narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder. And I want to be clear when I make this statement too. And I should have said this when Brother Leon was up here. We all have a little bit of narcissistic traits in us. There's a difference in having narcissistic trait and being a person that suffers with a narcissistic personality disorder. There's a difference, because a little bit of narcissism kind of keep us on our toes. It kind of help us living the things that we want to accomplish, and when we do feel good about those things, getting the accolades, and it's nothing wrong with that. But the problem comes in when that is to the extreme. Then that's someone that suffers with narcissistic personality disorder. So I want to be clear. You can ask any psychiatrist, psychotherapist, therapist, counselor, anybody in that field will tell you everybody got just a little trait, but there's a difference in having a trait of narcissist than being a person that suffers with narcissistic personality disorder. So I want to put that disclaimer out there. And if you guys got a question or comment, you're welcome to come up on the panel. Please, if you have not liked, please like, subscribe, and share. I think that this was a good topic. Share it with someone if you've gotten anything of education out of it from your own experience, or someone that may be in this type of relationship. Maybe show them this. Maybe show them this stream. Maybe share this stream with them. And hopefully the goal is to get everyone educated and to get everyone possibly that can seek help or therapy to do so. It's an encouragement. So this is why we're doing this.
Hey,
brother.
Hey, Vaughn. I have a question for you, OG Patrice. But I want to first say
yes.
To each of the, I think that I just noticed that it was women that were commenting, but to the women in the chat that were just so courageous to,
Definitely.
share some of their experiences and how they felt about things, I applaud you, and I thank y'all for that. Because what I hope with
we commend
all
you.
these YouTube channels is it's not just the panel that's making an impact, it's the chat also. So we thank each one of y'all for that. And we definitely pray for y'all. Okay, so OG Patrice.
Yes, ma'am.
What I wanted to ask you was, doing this series, do you find that it's been helpful for you to kind of be able to express what you've learned and what you've gone through to help you with your further healing? Like, because I noticed that, like, some things that, like, when they were being asked of, even like when it was with Terrell and Leon, there was so much information that it seems like you had in your backpack also, and some of that may have been just from your experience and some just from the research. But have you found it therapeutic to have these conversations with people that were the offenders and people that were offended, and just learning about it? So how has this been therapeutic for you?
That's a great question, sister. It absolutely has been very therapeutic for me. And not only that, it has made me realize that I needed to get back in therapy myself. And I shared that with Leon and with Brother Clarence, that going through that situation recently with my former Knox new supply kind of triggered some things in me. That's why I wanted to continue the series, and I wanted to continue to have these conversations, because it's definitely therapeutic for me. But I had to decide for myself that I needed to get back in therapy, because I realized that it triggered something in me. It definitely did. But yeah, sis, it has helped me tremendously. Even when I told the story of my girlfriend, it triggered back in me again. And my God, that's been so long ago, but you just never know. You just never know. So yeah, And I had a conversation with my coworker who lost her daughter to a narcissistic sociopath. Her daughter was murked by a guy like that, and every trait that my girlfriend's husband had, this guy had to the 100th power. Only difference was her daughter just recently, within the last 3 years, got murked by her ex, and social media was out. So he humiliated her on social media. He almost made her lose her job, calling her job, harassing her, saying stuff, lying to her boss. Like, he was so bad. And my coworker's daughter, she's young girl in her 20s, and it happened in New York, in New York City. And he started stalking her. She had to get an order of protection, same way my girlfriend did. And she moved in with a roommate, right? But when the roommate went out of town, her ex-boyfriend broke in the house in her sleep, and he unalived her. So that's why I said the numbers are going up with these men that are creating this type of violence and these type of crimes. And so when she cries every birthday, every year, this since I've been with the company for the last going on 2 years, she cries every time it's her daughter's birthday. And when she told me the story the other day, it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind, because he absolutely was a malignant, sociopathic, violent narcissist. And she lost her daughter's life to a person that did that. So yeah, it's real, guys, and the numbers are definitely going up, unfortunately. And it's like Brother Leon said, you can start to see it very early on in some of these young men and women, unfortunately.
Let's bring Vaughn into the situation. Vaughn, you got some opening remarks, man. This is what you think about what we've been talking about.
Yeah, wow. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings, brother.
Greetings. It's very humbling listening to this brother, be so transparent the way that he's been, and it's just remarkable to me that, in spite of what he's been through, he still has the courage and the unction to get up here and to share his experiences, which is very helpful to a lot of people, right? But man, I'm in awe. Actually, the conversation was very great. Just the fact that he's willing to get the counseling, because a lot of us are so prideful to where we, listen, counseling is out the door. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes. But he that hearkeneth unto counseling, the Bible says, is wise. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm just man, I just know that word, and just when you expose that spirit in the way that he did, the devil is like a roach. As long as he is in the dark, he can lurk around. But when you turn on the light, you see what I'm saying? That's when he goes. That's when he scatters and he goes to fleeing. You see. But man, I'm very impressed tonight. People are going through so much heaviness in their life. You see what I'm saying? And just the burden of it all. You never know how much people are carrying. You know what I'm saying? What is their breaking point? Some people just have to simply get to that breaking point just in order for them to get ready for some type of help. You see what I'm saying? It just takes the rock bottom experience. I know for me, it was the rock bottom experience. that helped me understand that there's no further down that you can go. You're already down there.
Ain't nowhere else to go but up when you go all the way down there.
Exactly. So, I guess that's all I have to say. But very great conversation. Very, very excellent. I know I sound a little somber, but I'm still kind of soaking it all in. You see, because this brother is on a mission.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm sure the enemy is going to be on his coattail.
Yeah.
He's going to be on your coattail, brother, if you're listening. That's why you're gonna have to have that spirit of God on the inside. You see what I'm saying?
Brother Vaughn, we didn't talk about it, but Leon posted on his community page where he invited people to this Zoom meeting about he's getting ready to go on this tour thing, right? Remember, I told you, I said God got that for him, and so they were talking about all the people that were going to be on this big panel. They traveling and going to this place, and they're going to have this big panel discussion and stuff. It was going to be different people there, some people in the medical field, psychologists, psychiatrists. I mean, and Brother Leon is only going to be on this panel with these people. So he invited people to come and join. It's like a wellness type of what do you call it?
Retreat?
How they had those wellness conferences and all of that, and you have different speakers and stuff. He's gonna be, and I hopped on there. I said, let me see what it's about, and it's about people that want to heal from trauma, different things, and they have all these speakers. And Brother Leon is on there, and absolutely, when I tell you the devil is busy, this guy gets on there, and he starts spewing all kind of rhetoric, and then when he asked to be excused, he vulgarly said something very vulgar, and then he wrote something. You know how you can in Zoom you can use the pen and write something, and everybody could see what you're writing. And that brother wrote one of the that I ain't gonna say I call him brother. That coward wrote one of the most racist things ever in that thing in big bold letters where everybody could see it. So before he got kicked off the panel. And so when you say the devil busy, Vaughn, absolutely, because that person came in there to derail, to just be a nuisance, and it was very, very evil and mean spirited what he done, and he had to be kicked off the panel. So yeah, unfortunately. And I text Brother Leon. I was like, whoa. He was like, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, we get that. I was like, that's so sad. But and he showed his face. This person actually showed their face. So it was a young Caucasian guy, and all of us in the Zoom meeting, of course, we were Black, and he called us the N big boat, black ends, if you know the N word with the hard ER. Okay.
Well, so, that's coming with whenever you are trying to heal the people or guide the people, other than you're trying to lead them into greener pastures. Like you said, the devil and his agents will be after you. They're gonna come looking for you. So that should be no surprise. I'm sure it's not a big surprise, Brother Leon, but they're gonna come after us. They're gonna come after us that's trying to tell the truth. Even if you're just telling the truth, you ain't even out there like Leon going on tours and everything. You just out here telling the truth. People gonna call you names. Ain't that right, Patrice? Right? They're gonna call you names. They're gonna say this about you. So we got to understand that's part of the ball game, y'all. That's part of the ball game. If you're gonna be out here telling the truth, if you lie, if you're willing to lie to get along and go along, then you're probably not gonna have as many problems as those of us that's gonna be out here saying no, because we don't want to see people make the mistakes we made. We don't want to see people get the bumps on the head that we got. So we out here trying to tell you. And like you said, Vaughn, the Bible said a fool despises correction, but a wise man loveth reproof. Right? A wise man loves to, he don't have no problem with another set of eyes taking a look at what's going on, because that's going to probably be a better thing, right? But a man that don't want nobody to check him, don't want nobody to say nothing to him. I had a family member that was married to somebody, and this person was way out of order on something. And I said, I'm not trying to give the whole story away, but they was way out of order. None of their business. It was family business. But this person, this wife of this person, came into the family business and was like, well, y'all need to do it like this. And so I said, hey, this ain't got nothing to do with you. You go ahead and go over there and sit down somewhere. This is between us and the family here. And the person who was married to said, hey, you can't check this person. This person is uncheckable.
Wait, uncheckable?
Yes.
They actually said that word, uncheckable?
Yes, that's what he said to me. He said, this person is uncheckable. He said this to me on different
narcissistic if I ever heard.
Yeah, but I said, I don't want to be around a person like that.
That's crazy.
I don't want to be around a person that can't be checked or can be told when they're in error, right?
Wait a minute. Some of these content creators on these platforms think they uncheckable too.
Well, they do, right? They do. But here's the thing, y'all. We got to stick to what we talked about. Some of these people, they're gonna say a bunch of stuff. I was watching. Now we invited Obsidian Ali to come on Sunday. He obviously didn't show up, and I saw him saying some other derogatory things about black women. I know they're gonna do that. So I mean, what can I do? I invite them here to try to talk about it and straighten that stuff out. They don't want to come because they know we're gonna ask them about that stuff. So they just don't want to come. So it's okay, but we still gonna keep marching forward, trying to put out the good information and stuff that the people can learn something from and heal something from. But I want to say one thing before we continue, and I'll let whoever else wants to talk. Sister Annie, thank you for coming up here. And the reason why I'm saying thank you for coming up here is because and I know why you came up here, and I'm glad that you did that because, like I said, a lot of these guys need to hear God's voice, God in a woman. They hear it in Patrice, they hear it in you, right? And so Patrice got her own vibration, and then you have your own vibration. And so they need to see that, because see, a lot of these guys, like he said, Leon even said it. He said, I didn't even really know my mother. I really didn't know. And who's typically the person in your life that has who is the person in your life that usually gives you all the praise, encourages you. So no matter how bad you mess up, they still got your back. It's your mama. When you don't have your mama there, or we can even say your grandmama might do it if she's available. But let's say you don't have either one of those people. Now you out there on your own. See, men, a lot of these men are like the way they are because they never had that encouragement. Because even if they have a mother, now it's so many single parents out here. They don't really know how to parent. They don't really know how, especially on the first or second child, they don't really start picking it up to the third or fourth child, right? If then. So they don't know how to encourage, especially young men, right? They don't know how to encourage them. They don't know how to grow them spiritually. They don't know how to grow them mentally. They don't know how to grow them emotionally. Because it's different for men and women to grow emotionally. They have to be encouraged a different way. It's different things have to happen for young men to grow as opposed to young women. But a lot of these women, because they don't know, and I'm not just talking about the women, the men too. They never learned how to encourage or grow a person. So they just don't do it. And then the person come out with all these traumas. They don't know how to protect them, right? Or they don't think about how serious protection is for children in today's wicked world. Then we don't know how to grow them, right? A lot of times we want to give our children stuff to make them happy instead of doing what's best for them. That's critical, but we losing our way on that. So we need a place like this, y'all. I think we doing good work. There's a place like this where we talk about the stuff we for real. Forget Dr. Phil. We
Yeah.
talk about the hard
That's right, brother.
you know, and we talk about the stuff, and we ain't got no degrees or nothing like that, but we talk about it from a good
That's
place.
right. That's right.
Girl, bye. Right? So we talk about it from a good place. We all of our hearts are good. All of us really want the people to do better, and that's why we all here, and that's what connecting us together, and hopefully connecting everybody in the chat. I hope you here because you can see that we really got a love for y'all, and we got love for each other first, and then we got a love for y'all as well, and then we trying to help as many people as we can. You know what I
Yes.
mean? By putting this information.
Exactly.
Anybody wants to add to any of that? But thank you, Sister Eddie, for coming up.
Well, I would just say, kudos. I agree with everything you said, brother.
And thank you, Mom, for coming up. Thank you.
No problem.
Yes.
But you're doing a great work,
Yeah.
and you're definitely on a mission. Yeah, you, brother Clarence.
No, I said we.
Well, we
Can't do this work without y'all.
Well,
Not this way, not this good.
Well,
I
exactly.
may have
But
a little rickety thing going by myself.
but I'm just letting you know that you're doing.
But I
a good
appreciate
work.
you, Vaughn. I
Yeah.
do. Appreciate
And so, and the reason why I say that is because you have such a diligence in your approach. You see what I'm saying? Even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. See, that's the sign of a good leader. In spite of the show has to go on. You see what I'm saying? And the intent behind the content. See, that's the thing right there.
Now that made a lot of sense right there.
Yeah, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's the intent behind the content. And man, we see the intent of a lot of individuals in these spaces now. Come on.
And hopefully the impact over the intent. Hopefully that this series will impact somebody's lives. Hopefully that this series will encourage someone to get in therapy. Hopefully this series will encourage someone to realize know that they are a problem, or they've had problems in every relationship they've ever had. They are the common denominator to that problem. Hopefully this series will encourage someone to get the therapy that they need if they think they may be a narcissist. If they think something has triggered them from being in a relationship with a narcissist. Hopefully that this series will help encourage someone to seek the help that they need.
Exactly. And if not anything else, at least, make you aware of what these traits look like.
That part.
Give you an idea of what are the signs and the symptoms of some of this behavior,
Right.
because when you don't recognize a thing, you don't know how to deal with it. You don't even know that it's even existing. See, because you're ignorant to the fact.
That part, brother.
But when we can expose, man, things like what has been exposed tonight, man, this is a great work. You see what I'm saying? And it's not in vain at all. One thing I know about the truth, and when the truth is being told, it never leaves from where God is. You see what I'm saying? And doesn't accomplish what he sent it to do. See, it's going to always accomplish what he sent it to do. The truth will never return to God void. You see what I'm saying? So, man.
Amen.
I'm just glad to be a part of it, man.
Man, you guys are pillars of it, and without you guys, I couldn't do it. I'd be having some kind of rickety setup here. So I appreciate all of y'all up here, man. I really do. But I got a question for y'all. Now, this is my theory. You guys tell me what you think and what your theory is. Now, my theory is that I think we could avoid a lot of we were talking about violence earlier, right? We could avoid a lot of this violence if we could teach people to better sexually select when they're in, quote unquote, the dating market, right? When you're in the dating, quote unquote, phase of relationships, you can, if we kind of ferret out. This is why we were trying to ask Leon some stuff where, like, okay, there's stuff you can see before you get too far down the road, something's wrong, right? But I think if we can ferret all this stuff out in the sexual selecting process, then it would help us to avoid a lot of these problems dealing with narcissists and dealing with a person and a narcissist that is not like an undiagnosed, because typically it'd probably be undiagnosed, right? So we dealing with undiagnosed people that are narcissistic, and the hell that they raise in the sexual selection process. Do you guys agree or disagree, or you have a comment to add to that?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part of that. Can you repeat it in short, right quick for me, please?
Okay, I was asking Patrice, if do you think we could avoid a lot of these issues if we nipped it in the bud in the sexual selection, in the dating phase, in the dating phase, we recognize a lot of these traits, and then we were able to maneuver, say, well, kill the relationship, or not even enter in a relationship once we recognize that situation. Do you guys think that we could avoid a lot of this unfortunate incidents of violence and or morbidity?
I could speak from my own experience of being in a relationship with a narc, right? When I watch, and you guys, I'm telling y'all, Dr. Ramani is amazing. She's a psychotherapist and psychiatrist, and she talks about this all the time. Um, from my own experience, I could say for the most part, sometimes, like what Vaughn said, when you, like, I knew what narcissist was and narcissism, like, right? But whoever thinks that they are going to encounter and meet a person that really has a narcissistic personality disorder, I mean, like a real disorder, right? So, and again, when you're early on into the dating process and you're being love bombed, a lot of times you don't even know you're being love bombed. So you don't know to look for certain traits and what this person is doing to rear you in, right? Let me see. I think if I had to say, were there red flags? Now looking back in retrospect, I could say yes. But for a person that never experienced that in my life, I'm that everything that came with the love bombing seemed normal to me. Even though it was a little bit like fast, it still seemed normal to me, if that makes sense. And when I listened to Dr. Ramani, it totally made sense for someone that was used to being treated like a lady in relationships, kind of swept off my feet, shivery, all the whole nine that this person was showing me. Yeah, in the back of my head, I did say, "Wow, this is going fast," but at the same time, it was normal too. It was like normal behavior that a man, with chivalry, with all of this, shows a woman. So again, it was like, it was like that thing, and I did feel, bad for a bit, and say a little guilt of like, why didn't I should have known. But then listening to Dr. Ramani, it was like, no, don't, I can never ever, no matter what, never ever blame yourself or feel guilty for something somebody else did to you that wasn't right.
Right.
That was the bottom line. And when she said that, and I start telling myself that and feeling that, and saying, okay, yeah, there may have been something to raise the eyebrow on, right? But at all in the same token, it's no excuse for a person's bad behavior. It's no excuse for how a person treated you, no matter how you look at it. because I didn't know that that was only their representative of who they really aren't. I didn't know that. I thought that that was them being them. But narcissist people that's not them. They are showing you what you tell them you want to be, treated, how you want to be treated, from asking you the questions, having the conversation, your likes, your dislikes, your turn-ons, your turn-offs, and all of that. Narcissistic people, when they love bomb you, they study you based off of what you tell them, which again, that's a normal adult conversation, as in getting to know someone. So when I heard the good doctor say that and said, don't feel guilty because someone else treated you wrong, I felt a little bit better. I felt a little bit better. It's like, yeah, you can know, I can know something about you or learn something about you, and then I take that and I turn it on you. I take it and I turn it on you, and I treat you wrong based off of how you told me to treat you.
Right.
So yeah, in that sense, no, I feel a lot better now. But yeah, it bothered me for a while. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna feel guilty because somebody else, treated me wrong, did me wrong. Why should I? That was their behavior. That was their bad behavior because they are a bad person. So
At the time, yes. What about the rest of you guys? What do you guys think?
The other day I went to the grocery store, and when I was coming out, I had like 3 bags in my hand. And when I was coming out, I saw that this white van had parked next to my car. Now, I do not like parking next to white vans. So that joker was not there when I went in the store.
That makes sense.
But when I came out, something in my spirit, like my heart, it just like dropped a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to go get in my car next to a van. And I don't like doing that. So this man that was about to go in the grocery store, I told him, I said, excuse me, sir. I said, I don't typically park near vans, and a van is now near my car. I said, do you mind just standing here and make sure that I get in my car and drive off? And he did that when I drove up, and he just waved, and I told him just thank you. I say that to say that was my instincts. We got to have discernment. We have to trust our instincts.
Agreed.
So when you may not know the name to call these different types of behaviors. You may not know the different disorders. I don't know a whole lot about narcissists. I just know I kind of got tired of hearing the word on a lot of panels because it just seemed like it was just a word and nobody was giving any kind of weight to it.
right.
What Leon did was he added color to a word. He added behavior. He added the thought process behind the behavior.
Yes, definitely.
And that was very, very helpful to me. So what I believe is that, one, listening to people that have experienced things or telling you that they've done certain things. Don't just say that, oh, that never happened to me. I'm listening to some of the things that he was saying. I was like, oh, somebody could have got me with that one right there, because that sounds sweet, or that was nice. And clearly, Patrice and I have different personalities, right? And I think that we both are vulnerable to being receptive of a person that has that type of behavior. So you're not so strong that you can't be penetrated, and you're not so meek that you couldn't be penetrated. So I would just say that you do have to have discernment. Don't feel like you have to rush into something. Like I haven't, y'all know, I haven't really been courted or dated. I'm not in a rush. I don't feel like, I got to hurry up and do this by this time. I don't feel rushed. I don't feel pressured to be with anybody. I'm not wanting to be. I know I want to be married. I know I would like some companionship, but I'm not desperate for it. So I'm thankful that I'm not in that place, but I know that there are some women and some men that are. And we have to be able to slow down enough to just really pay attention to, one, assess ourselves. You know, like in Psalms 139, I think it's 23, 24, but it says, you know, you asking God to search me, Lord, see my motives, right? So inspect yourself first. See, am I going into this dating pool desperate? Am I going a little too lonely, you know, where I may not catch certain things? I would say, don't allow people or anybody to have you separate yourself from the connections that you had for so long. Yeah. You need them. You need somebody that has a different view, an elevated view, somebody that knows you and may be able to say, hey, listen, you tripping. You know, he's a good guy, or hey, you tripping. You know that you see this. So you don't distance yourself. Don't allow anybody to try to distance you from the core, the people that really love you. And like I said, just discernment and just being mindful of like what you allow, what spirits, what energy you allow in your space.
Well,
And
you're
then
right.
if you do slip, don't if you sit there and beat up on yourself, it's gonna make it worse.
And listen, and I agree 100% with what you said, because I had not been in a relationship, and I'm saying a relationship. I had dated, but I hadn't been in a relationship in 2.5 years since my ex. Like literally since I had moved from Nevada to here in Arizona, had not been in a relationship. So it was 2.5 years, and I'm good. I was, you know, working on me and working and, you know, trying to get myself settled in and get on my feet here in Arizona and meeting people, networking. I'm doing my stage play. I was busy, you know, dating here and there, but relationship wise, I hadn't been in 2.5 years. So I wasn't rushing. And then, like I said, when that happened, you know, and you thinking, here's a mature man that's your age, been married twice, children grown. You just not thinking, you know what I mean? That a person, like a grown person, is gonna be this type of person. But lo and behold, lesson learned. You know, you don't know what people are like. I knew that existed, but I had never experienced that. So this was also new to me. And yeah, did I say, ooh, I think, you know, this whirlwind of, look, you know, sweeping me off my feet. Yeah, in the back of my mind, I did say, woo, we going too fast. And with the whole marriage proposal and everything, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, no, I think you know, let's see where this going. I'm liking, you know, the ride, and you know, let's readdress this in another 3 months, maybe. You know, that's what I said. I said, because you know, I think 6 months, you know, to a year, pretty much, if it's going good. Everything, you gel in chemistry, attraction, everything is there, then yeah, we two consenting adults, now we can sit down and have a conversation about marriage. He knew I wanted to be married again. I made that clear. He told me he did, you know, and I think that a lot of women sometimes probably would have got caught up in that. Woo, yeah, let's go, let's get married. But I didn't say that to him. I think in the interim, in the back of my head, that fast whirlwind that I thought that we were on is the reason why when he asked me to marry him, I said, no, let's just take it a little easy. So that antenna did come up. But yeah, you know, I don't know. That's just my take. But yeah, it was 2.5 years. I have not been in a relationship. So
all right, y'all. Let's start wrapping up, man. It was I don't think you guys know the Nicholas brothers.
Yes.
You guys ever heard of the Nicholas brothers? They were dancing.
Yeah, the dancing brothers. One of them was married to Dorothy Dandridge, right?
Correct.
That's right.
Yeah, the older one was married to Dorothy Dandridge, and so anyway, they did a dance routine in, I think the movie's called Stormy Weather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, where they danced up the steps and then they slid down the banisters.
Mm-hmm.
And they did.
Remember that movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, they did that all in one. They did it all in one take. Well, they did it all in one take. They did it all in one take because they said so. They did all that right, and so after they got done, those brothers, They asked the director, "Hey, you want us to do it again?" The director said, "No, it'll never be any better than that. It'll never. You'll never have it look that smooth again." And I'm saying the same thing about us right now. We have covered so many points. We didn't hit so much. This live stream is one of our best ever, man. We have just hit so many points. Thanks to Leon, man, for coming on and just really dropping so
this
much.
whole series,
The whole series has been a bomb, and I'm looking forward to finishing the series with Terrell too. So I mean, it's just this whole thing. Shout out to Patrice, man. Patrice,
Awesome.
man. So shout out to her.
Did a great job. Great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
Talking
I
about stuff that's
appreciate
really
that.
relevant to people's lives, and people really want to know about this stuff. As you can see, Leon has a big following, and Terrell has a big following as well. All right, y'all. So we're gonna start wrapping up, y'all, because I think we did an outstanding job. Now we can do this family business on our own. We want to because we basically doing family business now. All right, so let's start getting some closing remarks, and then we'll be out of here, y'all.
Yep.
Anybody want to go first?
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and go first if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but to answer the question that you asked, Brother Clarence, and I would like to piggyback off of what Anae said, when she said, take your time, there's really no need to rush because, there's an old saying that says, fools rush in where angels dare to tread.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And you can make an awful big mistake by being in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? So get to know the individual, get to know the person, go through that whole vetting process, not just a coffee date, but
Yeah.
actually ask some legitimate questions, and keep your eyes open, because listen, if you have that spirit of God on the inside of you, you're going to be able to discern that devil. You see what I'm saying? So you just have to keep your eyes open. But yeah, great show tonight. Great. Hey, that's all I could say is it's a great show. And I much love, my sister. I always appreciate you when you come up. You have such a sweet, humble spirit. And I really like that about you. And OG Patrice, well, you know what it is. That's my sister.
You know what it is to me.
Yeah.
What is
She
it?
knows. She knows what it is. Well, you're my sister from another mister.
All right, I know what it is.
And Brother Clarence, of course, we all look up to you, and we appreciate you providing this platform for us to be able to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very much in support of your efforts, and I just want you to always know that.
Thank you, brother. I know that in my heart. Even when you get mad at me, Vaughn, I know that in my heart. That's what you did. That's how you feel. So
did I ever get mad at you? No.
The love is always going to be there, brother. And I appreciate you for everything that you do, Vaughn. All of you guys, Sathani, Patrice, all the stuff that people don't see that you do, the phone calls that you guys make time out of your busy schedules to make, get on a phone call, me, order this, order that, make sure we get the right price for everything. I appreciate everything. And then Patrice going and getting these panelists. Oh man, it's just, I appreciate everything, man. I appreciate you individually, but as a group, I definitely appreciate you, and definitely appreciate you, Vaughn, for all the stuff, man. You pushed me to do a lot of different things that I told you up front. I said, I don't think we can do it, Vaughn. Vaughn pushed me, and we got it done. We definitely got it done. So shout out to you, Vaughn. Shout out to you, and appreciate you, brother. And man, this is home. If we don't see you, man, we're gonna come looking for you, brother. So you
exactly.
better stay here.
Please come looking for me. Please send out a search party.
All right, Vaughn.
We're gonna call the cavalry looking for you. Call in the cavalry.
Hey, Vaughn is right over here in Pasadena. I'll be in the car and go looking for him. So yeah, he ain't too far, right? All right, I'm gonna pull you down, Vaughn, man. Stay safe out there, brother. Love you. All right, that's brother Vaughn Bryant, a very strong soldier for the Lord, Patrice. All right, who else is gonna go? Which one of the lovely ladies is going to go at this point?
Sister, I'll go before Patrice. I just say because you need to definitely Yeah. You need to get an encore performance. So I'll go before you. First of all, Vaughn, thank you so much. You don't understand how when I just see you, wherever I see you, I already know that the spirit is in the room.
Definitely.
So I thank you for being obedient and such a servant for God. So I thank you for that. So it's an honor anytime I grace a platform when you're on there. What I would say, Patrice, you don't even understand what this series and watching you has done for me. Like you are, I see Sister Soldier, and then I saw this wounded bird. And I appreciate you allowing us, but in particular me, to see that kind of extreme, that dynamic. Because one, you're every woman, clearly. But I thank you for being such an amazing woman. You're an advocate. You're a soldier. You're a peacemaker. You know how to defend yourself in a way where you're like, wait a second, no, I'm not taking any prisoners in this. You wounded me. I'm coming. And that's a good energy to be able to have in certain situations. So I thank you for just being an example of that. I thank you. Like I said, I don't know how you found them, but it's like, how did you find this perfect mixture with Leon and Terrell? So your discernment just in even figuring out who you were going to bring up. So I appreciate you tremendously for this. I say this, and I don't say this lightly, how these streams and these series, how they're helping me. They really do. So I really appreciate that. Brother Clarence, I think I sung your praises on another stream, so I'm not going to do too much for you. But the fact that you allow this to be the palette for all these different and dynamic conversations, revelations, I'm thankful to you for that. And I thank God for using you in that way. I pray over this channel. I really do. I pray over this channel. I pray for those that come on the panel. I pray for the people in the chat, and I pray for people that listen afterwards, because even though like we know that we come from a spiritual based space in our hearts, some people that may listen in, they may just kind of be like, oh, I don't want to hear that God stuff or that, whatever it is that you believe in, you have a creator. You have a creator. You were created for something amazing. And I hope that this series has, one, awakened some people that have traits that seem to maybe border on the line of maybe potentially having a disorder, that you try to figure out and inspect it to see if it is that. I pray for the people that are on the receiving end to become aware and have discernment and maybe recognize that, you know what, this is not something I deserve. Step back. You deserve greater. You deserve somebody that loves you, that appreciates you, that's honest with you. And the narcissist, you deserve that too. And whatever it is, it's that root of what's causing you to think that behavior is okay. I'm praying over that. I'm praying over the seed that was planted that made you think that that's okay, and that you have to use that as a type of defense mechanism in your life. So I'm praying that this helps to build people, helps to heal people, and we spread it. Something that you heard or learned tonight, share it with somebody else. Share it with somebody younger. Share it with somebody younger, because they may not have experienced it. I'm green. I said something in a chat the other day, and Vaughn was like, oh, sweet in there. It's like, she does not know what she's talking about. So there's people that are green around the collar. Share information with them. And I can't emphasize this enough, that if you spend so much time beating up on yourself, you take away from the time that you take to heal yourself. So give yourself a break, but take the necessary steps that you need to be a better person. So I absolutely love y'all. Thank y'all so much for letting me come on the panel. Come up here.
Love you too, sis. Anytime, that you family. We need your words of encouragement. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna put you down, sis. Love
okay,
you.
y'all. Love y'all.
Up here.
Love you too.
All right, that's Sister Annie, man. I'm gonna get her on the on the wrap up. All right, OG Patrice. Any
Yes,
final
sir.
words?
I just want to thank you, brother, for allowing this series to go on your platform. I so appreciate you and love you so much.
Same here.
That that you have been a part of the solution. This channel is not about being a part of the problem, because we see that every day on a lot of platforms. But being a part of solution is what it's about over here on Let's Talk to Better Black Life. And that's why I love it over here. And that's why it'll always be my home channel as long as you have me. Just don't kick me out. Don't kick me out or anything.
Never.
It's okay if I get a little bit out of hand, out of order. Y'all know how to tap me on my hand and get me right back. Pull me right back. Pull me right back on
nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, no.
But I absolutely love you guys over here.
We love you too.
I want to thank everybody that tuned in to this episode. This whole series has been phenomenal. And even though it's coming to a close of this series, believe me, we're not done talking about this. We're not done having the conversation. We're going to continue to have the conversation. We're going to continue to make people aware in hopes of getting the solutions, of getting people in therapy, whether you are the victim or the victimizer. Getting the therapy, that's the bottom line. That's the long-term solution to help better ourselves, to better each other, to better the people around us, and to better our community and to better society. That's the main goal of the reason why we're having this series, right? Is to be a part of the solution and not the problem. Absolutely. You guys had some awesome questions in the chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging with us this long. We appreciate it. Please stop over here again and come check us out on Sunday, where we're gonna interview Brother Terrell Andretti, where he was a victim of a female narcissist. So he's gonna talk about his experience from a victim perspective of being the victim of a female that suffered with narcissistic personality disorder. So if you're not doing anything Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, come on back over here on Let's Talk to Better Black Life YouTube channel.
You're talking about 11:45 in the morning.
We doing in the morning? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We doing in the morning.
My bad. 11:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My bad. Right. Correction. I stand corrected. Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Please stop on by, come and see us again. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Please like, subscribe, and share to the Let's Talk the Better Black Life YouTube channel with Bro Clarence, yours truly, and our brother missing in action, Bro Rico. He missing in action today, but he be over here with us as well. Yeah. And I just want to say these last words of encouragement to everyone, for all of the victims that was in the chat, that was speaking. Please stay encouraged. We are praying for you as we ask you to pray for us over here. And my last word will be, I know that this road won't be easy, but I also know that you got what it takes to get through it. And I digress. I digress. Thank you guys. Love you.
All right. Love you, girl.
See you next time. Peace. All right.
I'm going to pull down there. That's Patrice. That's my girl right there. Now, I can make fun of her. Y'all can't. I could poke her, but y'all can't, right? When she go across, she smacked me on the head. I'm gonna take it and just laugh. But you know, man, if you even think about saying something about Patrice, man, if it's coming out the wrong way, man, you know, hey, if she can walk away from it, then maybe you got a chance. But if she get too bent out of shape over it, ooh, you might got a problem. You might got a bee's nest on your hands over here, Brooklyn. All right, y'all. What y'all think about the show? What did y'all think about the show? No, we wasn't out here talking about how black women are killing the black community. No, we wasn't talking about how single mothers are the problem and they're getting all this welfare, getting the government is subsidizing them leaving their relationships. No, we ain't talk about that. We ain't talk about how the black community is the worst place and it'll never get. We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about how women are the worst. Black women are the worst thing in the whole world. No, we didn't talk about that because we don't talk about those things here. Not in a subjugated way. No, we don't talk about that stuff. We talk about things in a way to encourage some type of better, right? This is like let's talk to better black life. We're talking about how to be better people if we black people, better black people, and then ultimately anybody else that wants to join on to us and be better people, we don't have no problem with nobody. It's ain't really about a color thing. We just in the worst shape. We just in the worst situation. That's why I said, hey, let's talk about the black, because if we can change the black community, then anybody can change. Anybody can change. Anybody can get salvation out here if we can show that the black community can have it too. But part of salvation is recognizing there's some issues. There's some things that we're going to have to discuss. We're going to have to make a plan to change. And we're going to have to accept that. You know, some of our people don't accept that, you know, the reality of what's in front of them. But we're going to discuss those things here. So I shout out to Patrice. She executive produced this series and the series we're going to finish up with Terrell and Dreddy. So, I mean, if you think this is a good series, man, you know, I know Patrice ain't looking for it, but hey, man, y'all just tell, you know, hey, Patrice, that was a good series. You know what I mean? Encourage her to go ahead and go forward. Who knows, man? Netflix might take her up out of here. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, right? They see how many shows she executive produced, right? So shout out to Patrice. Shout out to everybody who came on the panel today. Shout out to Leon. Shout out to Sister Eddie. Shout out to Vaughn. Shout out to everybody who came on the panel today. I tell them, Vaughn will tell me, oh, Clarence, you're doing a great job. But I tell Vaughn all the time, I said, man, Vaughn, I cannot do this without you guys. I can't do it without Patrice. Can't do it without Sister Eddie. Can't do it without Vaughn. Can't do it without Reese in the chat. Emil, all you guys in the chat. Can't do it without you guys, right? Can't do this, Rico. We can't do this without everybody who shows up and participates with us, because everybody's part of the family, right? So, and now, yeah, you here, you in the chat, and you're a new person, you part of the family. You're welcome to come here. We got a chair for you. We always got enough chairs for everybody. Come on over. If you want to just sit in the chat and listen, you want to make a comment in the chat, or if you want to come up on the panel, come on up here. You know what I mean? We ain't never going to attack you because of whatever reason or whatever. We don't do that here. All we do is try to tell the truth. And it might be sometimes, it might be, a little sticky, right? Leon start talking about, and we still haven't got him over here to talk about. He talked about some of the things he had to deal with as a child, man, just horrible stuff. But see, black men talking about it. They ain't talking about it. We gotta talk about it. Now, I'm not saying we gotta be vulgar, y'all, but I'm saying we gotta talk about it in a way where two things can happen. We get better as parents protecting our children, and we talk to and maybe one of the molesters or one of the people that need help, serious help, that's touching these kids, can see the effect that they have on these kids by doing this stuff. See, a lot of them guys, they get away because nobody ever really, the grown kid, by the time the kid's grown, the whole thing swept under the rug, right? But no, they need to see what they're doing to these, when they got grown men that's out here running around that can't get that stuff out of their head, the stuff, and they always doubting their manhood, and they always doubting this and doubting that because of some chomo that jumped on them, that tried to, that did something to him. Leon said he had to overcome all that, and still trying to overcome all that. We still haven't had that discussion with Leon. That's going to be an ugly discussion. But the brother now Leon's got a big set of balls, man. Huge, right? To come over here and talk about this stuff and say, yeah, I did this. I did it. Not Leon Walker did it. I did it, right? He did a Derek Jackson thing, right? He said, I did this. I did that. I have to own it, and I did it. But here's what I'm doing now to try to help alleviate the bad road that I get out there, right? And that's what Jesus comes to offer us, those of us that believe that the man exists. The man came to offer us redemption. Look at the Quran, you look at the Bible, you look at the Torah. Those are books, and the main point in those books is redemption. We got to be able to redeem our brothers. We got to try to redeem our sisters. Our sisters are out. They are incompetent when it comes to sexual selection. They are picking these. They're selecting these narcissists unknowingly because they don't have the competency to know what to look for. So that's why we have to have a show like this. So we have people like Patrice say, "Yeah, I've been through that. I missed this. I missed it. Now I'm looking for it, but I missed this. This is a better way I could go about doing this." Because we ain't out here, we don't know everything, but we just offering solutions. None of us that got no degrees or none of that stuff. All we doing is offering solutions. Just like a doctor would. Only a doctor, you got to pay him, a whole bunch of money, $200, $300, $400 an hour, right? You ain't got to pay us nothing. We just gonna tell you, hey, take care of yourself, be better, pray about it, and do what you feel is the best thing for you to do. But sometimes the best thing is hard. Sometimes the best thing is hard. Sometimes you in a relationship with somebody, you love this person. I was telling the content creator that. Said sometimes you have people on your panels, man, and you love these people. But you got to cut them loose. They are so filthy. Okay, I see you, Vaughn. Vaughn, do you want to come up? Let me know. Let me know in the private chat. If you want to come back up. But some of these people are so filthy. I guess that was Clarence. Don't stress this out, right? I've been known to stretch it out a bunch of dudes, right? So Vaughn's like, hey, Clarence, don't stretch this out, right? All right, Vaughn. I'll hurry up and wrap up. But I just want to let us know that this is what we're doing here. This is our goal. Our goal ain't, we can't fix everybody. We don't know everything. We ain't know-it-alls. We don't. We just offering solutions, alternatives to dealing with, crappy situations. We just offering alternatives. You want to go to your doctor and go to your psychologist and go to your therapist, go to them too. We're not telling you not to go to them. We're just saying, hey, this might be a solution too, right? This might be a solution, right, to the situation, right? Okay, got you, Vaughn. All right, so yeah. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all for stopping by. Thank y'all for listening. I got to wrap it up now because I got to get out of here. My granddaughter had a bad day at school. If she's still up, I got to go and talk to her. I'm going to go to the school on Thursday just to say I got to take off work. My son ain't going to do it, so I got to do it, right? I got to take off work, go to school, see what's going on, talk to the teacher. I told her, I said, I'm going to go to school tomorrow and see what the teacher had to tell me on Thursday and see what the teacher tell me. I want her to tell me that you're doing good. Okay, Papa. All right. So we gonna get it together. So I got to get out of here, y'all. Okay. So we're going to do the rundown and then we're going to be out of here. Okay. First of all, the chat was where it's at. The chat is where it's at, man. The chat did great today. No bots, no nothing, man. I don't know if we had our snipers in the building, but we definitely had Sister Eddie, Vaughn, and all our other people, Sister Brother Anderson, all the people that come through that keep our chat in a safe place, y'all. Because those of y'all we don't have people in our chat doing crazy stuff. We don't allow that. I mean, they can question us. We have no problem with you questioning us, but we're not going to let you disrespect people and be all disrespectful in the chat. That's why you see it ain't a lot of people here. Because people can't come over here and run a program over here because they're going to get booted, man. We got some serious snipers over here. We even got the backup snipers, Vaughn and Sister Eddie. And Sister Eddie ain't going to snipe nobody. She's going to try to love them out of it, but that's okay. We have Vaughn as the backup sniper. All right, but the chat is where it's at. Shout out to the chat, man. Great job. Great questions you guys asked. Good job. Hopefully you guys can see the work we're trying to do and support us and support Leon. And go over there and support Leon. Go over there and subscribe to Leon and support him. If you like the work that he did on this show, tell him about it, man. You know, we got to encourage each other because ain't nobody trying to encourage us. Ain't nobody else out here trying to help Black people be better. They just want to throw rocks and say, I'm a better Black person. I'm a better person than that Black person. That's what a lot of them are doing. So we ain't trying to do that here. We don't think we better. We just trying to offer solutions so that y'all don't get the bumps that we got on our head. We the ones with all the bumps, right? All right. But the chat's where it's at. Strong performance from the chat. Very solid performance from the chat. Let's go to the show. By the way, on the stage, I didn't add Bolo yesterday. Sunday when he came on the panel. I didn't acknowledge him. I want to acknowledge Bolo and the Village, man. He came on the panel on Sunday. Shout out to the brother. The brother did an awesome prayer with us, and man, it was outstanding, man. Shout out to that brother, man. If you haven't already subscribed to Bolo and Village, get on over to Bolo and the TV in the Village, Bolo TV in the Village. Get on over and give them a try. They also are doing similar stuff to what we are doing. They're a little more I would say spirit. We were all spiritual, but they're a little more based in the Bible primarily, but they still spiritual and they still doing the work. And so if you have questions about the Bible, questions about any of the information in the Bible, that's a place to go. But they're definitely our sister channel. They sister channel, whatever. But go check the Village out. So I didn't acknowledge Bolo yesterday. Very strong performance, very solid, very good prayer he did for us yesterday, man. And who knows? We all might have just made it back here on today because of that prayer he laid down for us on Sunday. Who else is on the stage today, though? What about today? We had Sister Annie on the stage. Excuse me. I'm coming up there. If Leon's talking, I'm coming up there, right? Shout out to Sister Annie, man. So Sister Annie came up on the stage, and let's say, man, Sister Annie is one of those really humbly spirited person where she ain't gonna toot her own horn at all, right? But I have to remind Sister Annie that, man, her voice is so powerful. She doesn't realize that, and I got to stay on her about that, man. That's why I love when she comes on the panels, and I encourage her to come on the panels because some of these men have been through so much stuff, and they haven't heard the voice of God coming through a woman, and that happens with Patrice, and that happens with Sister Annie, right? Clarence, they ain't perfect. I know Patrice ain't perfect, and Sister Annie ain't perfect. I know they ain't perfect, but hey, when God gonna use you, God gonna use you, right? It don't matter if you perfect or not. God gonna use you, whoever you are, right? So I see it in these women, and so that's what we need. Good. We need a place. See, this is it, man. You need a place to go where you can see good women. Not I'm saying there ain't no good women else out there, but this is we consistently try to present to you women that will encourage you, that God-fearing, and at the same time they trying to present to you what a woman should probably, how they could carry themselves and still be respected in a place like the YouTube streets where it's just pandemonium going on out here, right? So we need to figure out what we're gonna do. And so therefore we got to have people that we can look to and say, we can emulate and say, oh man, yeah, that sister, man, yeah. And then they bring them here to people who come and check us all out, and they see how much love we got for each other, man. Yeah, do we fight sometimes? Yeah, we do, but so what, right? Y'all just hear me and Rico on the phone, man. It sounds like two people that can't stand each other, right? But I mean, that's just the way it is, man. But family's family, right? Anyway, strong performance for Sister Annie. Please always encourage Sister Annie to come on the stage, man. She don't realize how strong her voice is. Very powerful, and it's just, and everything is always coming from the good place. Everything is always coming from a good place. Shout out to that sister. Very strong performance, Sister Annie. Very strong, very solid, as always. Who else on the show? The executive producer was on the show today. The executive producer, right? The executive producer came up on the stage. Shout out to Patrice, OG Patrice. She put herself back up here. Let me pull this girl down, man. I got to put that crazy girl down. All right, so anyway, OG Patrice came up here. What do y'all think about her? She executive produced this series and the other series that we're gonna be doing with that we're gonna be finishing with Brother Terrell and Dreddy. What do you think about her? What do you think about her skills? Man, top notch, right? Top notch. You know what I mean? Good sister, man. Always trying to encourage things. Now, I'm gonna tell you, man, if she don't like something, she's gonna tell you, right? She don't like it, she's gonna tell you. But she's always trying to encourage people to do better, always encouraging people to go forward and do better. And that's what we about here. We doing better, man. But shout out to that sister, man. I couldn't be doing this series. This series would never have happened without her. The series with Terrell, all that information you guys got from Leon, all that information you guys got from Terrell, never would have happened without OG Patrice. So shout out to OG Patrice. Very solid performance, very strong performance from her. Shout out to her. Who else came on the stage? Brother Leon. Brother Leon came on the stage today. Shout out to Brother Leon, man. That brother, man, he got big, man, gigantic rhinoceros-sized balls, man. He came out here talking about all the different things, that everything that black men don't want to talk about. Chomo touching them, prime addictions, narcissists, being narcissistic to other people, hurting other people. I mean, everything that in the black man book, they just write you off. They just write it off and say, it's your fault, woman. It's you the problem, right? But he came up here, man. Shout out to Leon, man. He came up here and put his thing down, man. So shout out to him. Go support Brother Leon's page. I think Vaughn put it in the chat. Go subscribe to Leon, man. That's a good dude, man. Good-hearted dude. Because he didn't have to do nothing, right? He didn't have to say nothing. And he especially didn't have to come over here, right? But our little 800 people, he didn't have to come over here. He was doing big things, man. So he still could have, but he donated his time, come over here, man. So shout out to Brother Leon. That's a good dude. Whenever somebody is willing to give time just to help other people, that's a good person, right? That's a good person. So today, quick story. Today, I was going into a 7-Eleven to get some water. I was getting some water. And there was a sister out there, right? You could tell she'd been living on the streets, right? She's like, you got any spare change? I said, no, I ain't got no spare change, sis. And so I left it at that, right? But while I was in the store, I said, you know what? Something hit my spirit, said, that sister's hungry, man. That sister wants something to eat. So I bought her a hot dog and I gave her some I bought her some Gatorade. I bought some Gatorade. I gave it to her. And I said, here, sis. When I came out the store, I had my stuff. I said, here, sis. And she took it, right? And, that sister took that food and left. Guess what that told me? That told me that, you know what? She was sincerely hungry. That she sincerely wanted something to eat. Because she didn't stick around like, oh, I'm going to try to get more money from other people. No, she didn't. When I got her that stuff, she's like, oh, cool, thanks. Out of there. So, what's my point? What's your point with that, Clarence? We never know what we're going to say or do that's going to hit that person, right? And if your spirit moved you to do it, then you should probably follow your spirit. Anyway, thank you, Brother Leon, for following your spirit to come up here and give us a dose like that, and I appreciate that. All right, y'all, got to move on. Very strong performance, by the way, from Leon. If you haven't already subscribed to his show, his channel, go on over and subscribe to his channel. But very strong performance, very solid from Leon. Very, very solid. And last but not least is Von Bryant, and that's to wrap it up. Von Bryant, definitely strong performance as always, very solid. And I'm like Sister Annie, man. When I go someplace and I see Von, I'm just telling you, I'm more likely to stay there. If I see Von already in the chat, or I see Von out, in the chat, I'm likely to stay, or he's on the panel, I'm more likely to stay and listen to what's going on. Or same thing if I see Sister Annie, same thing if I see OG Patrice. If I see them anywhere, I'm more likely to hang around and see what's going on, right? So, because I just feel the love for them. And I want to see, I'm like, well, if they're here, then it must be something going on. Let me check it out. Right. But anyway, shout out to Vaughn Bryant, man. Very valuable helper over here as well. And very solid performance tonight, as always. As always. All right, y'all. That's going to be it. We're going to come back on Sunday. We're coming back with Terrell Andretti. Now, we're going to talk to him a little bit more about female narcissism and how it affected him and his thoughts on some other things about female narcissism. We're going to talk to him on Sunday. Sunday, I'm going to do the regular show. I changed it for Obsidian like an idiot, but he didn't even show up, right? But that's okay. No big deal. But we're going to do the regular show, the Black History Minute, the Hit Parade, Saving Black Boys, and a few other things, right? So we're going to do everything like we normally do on Sundays, right? So y'all come back on Sunday, check us out. All right, y'all. Until then, we'll see y'all. Peace.